Okay, okay. Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's ModMic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's action here for the Blood in the Streets tournament, brought to you by firstblood.io, Antline Audio, and FYM Hot Sauce as well. My name is DragonJob. I'll be your main caster for the night. I was supposed to have a co-caster, but he's AWOL, no idea where he's at. So at the very least I can skip that webcam, camera, panel kind of thing in between. Anyway, it's Team Singularity versus Penta Sports. A little bit interesting to how this came to be. Of course, Singularity, they beat Crescendo in the upper bracket, lost to APB, and then dropped down here. Penta, though, that's like the third chance in this particular tournament, because they dropped out in the qualifiers in the round 2. Then they replaced one team, they lost against Comanche, and now they're coming in again, because we've had a lot of teams dropping out and reshuffling and whatnot. So Penta, third time's a charm perhaps here. They have to beat Singularity in this best of 3, as we are, of course, still in the lower bracket. Keep us the light first pick, so a bit interesting there for Singularity, but something that the squad likes to run every once in a while. You can do a whole lot with that, and especially with the Night Stock already banned out, Penta Sports have already provided a pretty good draft situation for the Keeper of the Light to be effective, and okay. Singularity, this looks like a very nasty draft already. Keeper of the Light Nature's Prophet, far from common. But you can already see what they want to do, right? They want to split push, they want to leverage their global mobility between the Nature's Prophet teleport, as well as, of course, the power of the Cottle with the axe, which of course gives you the ability to heal during daytime, but one big part of it is also the ability to recall people to you across the map. So it's potentially extremely powerful if you manage to utilize it properly. Penta Sports, though, as far as they're concerned, they're looking to try and snipe them out while they're doing the split pushy thing. Bounty Hunter, Ancient Apparition, Bounty Hunter to scout out, Ancient Apparition with the Ice Blast, and then maybe consider someone like a Nature's Prophet, an Invoker or something like that for the middle lane. Provide that expert of long range artillery to just snipe people and kill them, with just the Bounty Hunter being there at the minimum. Other than that, though, they could still go into a bit more of a team fight oriented lineup if they wanted. But I think their main priority right now should be just the wave clear. Try and get rid of these Nature's Prophet treants as quickly as possible. Right now, neither Ancient Apparition nor Bounty Hunter really do that whatsoever. So it's gonna have to be a priority here. And someone like Alina would fit that quite well out of the core position. It's also another interesting thing that Penta would pick up both of their supports. Yes, I would assume that it's a 4 position rather than a 3 position Bounty Hunter. That they pick both of their supports in first phase kind of locks you in a little bit. You have to be more flexible with your cores. But we'll see what they want to do with that. As I said, they still need a lot of wave clear from cores at this point. Other options, of course. Sven would have been a good one with the inbuilt cleave. On that, you might consider something like an anti-mage, perhaps. Try and jump right on top of the Prophet, keep it the light. Queen of Pain would also be not the worst choice for mid. Earthshaker, yeah, that fits. It's gonna be most likely the offlane position, but of course he's still a hero that you can also run in mid if you really want to. And I guess with the Ancient Apparition Bounty Hunter, depending on what Singularity wants to pick up for their safe lane, it's a potential aggressive trial lane if you pick up someone like maybe Vengeful Spirit even, or a Rave King, just some sort of hero that provides a little bit of a setup. Especially for the Ancient Apparition, Cold Feet. If you have that, then you can actually make that work, get a few easy kills early on in the first couple of minutes.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
We can yawn.
Phantom Assassin.
Alright,
Dire team.
back to the draft. Phantom Assassin. I don't know about how I feel about this one. This should be late Battlefield game for PA perhaps. Or maybe just go Maelstrom, but well, it's one of these that can definitely jump on Nature's Prophet. Like if you have the vision, you can jump inside the trees, just burst them down. Same for the Cardinal, same for the Rubik. Those, all of them are really easy kills for the PA.
Reserve time.
But at the same time, Rubik with instant cast can control her up a little bit. Keep with the light mana leak is devastating for a PA. Don't have the highest mana pool, yet you need to be able to rely on it to be able to spam daggers. And most importantly, spam your W in the middle of fights. So this could be an issue for PA. And right now they still have this issue with wave clear. Right now they have Ancient Apparition Ultimate, I guess. Earthshaker just running in the middle of that and just after shocking it down, or the fissure, that's all mediocre at best. In PA, once again, if it's not like an old school Battle Fury build, then Fantastic boards might run into issues here if they're being outmaneuvered, which is what Singularity is aiming for right now. And sure, Bounty Hunter is going to be around, but other than that, those heroes are not necessarily mobile until they get like some of the blinks up and running, with the Earthshaker especially. Well, Singularity, well, I like the Clockwork here. Should. Very interesting though, because you already have the Cardinal, you already have the Rubik. Haha.
5 seconds remaining.
Was it that ran Cardinal mid? That was effects like a couple months ago. I want to say Afoninji. I wonder if they have that in mind, because that would be absolutely hilarious. But who knows? Other than that, though, it could still be like a Nature's Prophet safe lane straight up. Clockwork in the off lane, and then pick up another mid hero now. Huh. That's the case, and it's all guns facing forward essentially. Just we're not just going for late game split push kind of style, but instead just focusing more on the early game and the mid game as well. When the Clockwork gets going, hook shots around, you have the Nature's Prophet also joining in early with like face boot, perhaps even a blade mail build. Really curious to see what Singularity or whether they want to take this draft, because it's not one that I've seen in a while.
10 seconds remaining.
I think they did Pentas though, like Ancient Apparition you see them every once in a while. Bounty Hunter though, very uncommon these days. Same for Phantom Assassin. So this game's not like a lot of the others that we've seen. But yeah, last pick, Singularity. What are they looking for now? Invoker for them wouldn't be bad either. Queen of Pain, Lina also still in the pool, so very common, famous bids that they can just go back to, or well, other than that, OD I guess wouldn't be the worst. I don't think you'd go DK here, because Ancient Apparition pretty good against that hero. Making sure that you don't have that region to work with at the very least in a fight when he gets hit by the Ice Blasts. Oh, taking the time to think about it.
Luna.
Okay.
Radiant team.
I have no idea what's going on. Is this a Prophet mid or Luna mid? More likely Luna mid, isn't it? Huh. Curious and curious. But Pentasports, pretty good response to this actually. I mean, Clockwork is going to be an issue. Nature's Prophet potentially as well, just keeping onto the Tinker, but it's mostly Clockwork really that he has to worry about. But if he can play around that, Tinker is a pretty perfect pick here. Great with the laser, especially when he gets axe against Luna and then Nature's Prophet. And it's all the wave clear that you need in the world with the marginal machines. That's, yeah. I can see that working out, but they kind of have to keep the ball rolling. They cannot fall behind in the early game. And they need to outplay it. They need to not be caught by the clockwork or run down by the Luna and Nature's Prophet, because that's a very scary lineup indeed. If Tinker dies a couple of times in the early game, I can definitely see them just straight up lose. Because they have nothing left to throw, really. Or nothing that's scary enough for Singularity to fight into. But yeah. But at least Penta's got the tower game going for them, so good on them indeed. 1047 levels to 784, so it's already a great advantage. And I think I forgot to open my mic. Alright, so guys, if you were watching in-game, mostly the draft isn't picking up the sound anyway, so not much is lost, I guess. And I remembered in time, which is good. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome. My name is Dragndrop. I'll be bringing you the series between Penta Sports and Singularity for the Blood in the Streets tournament, brought to you by Antline Audio and FYM Hot Sauce. Everyone getting ready to go here. Mid-tinker, as you would expect, nothing crazy there. Katsor, the Keeper of the Light with some boots. Elder Sash on the clockwork. Luna, Exotic Deer, it's more of a safe lane build. Nature's Prophet, boots as well. Huh. Nisha. Picked up a null talisman. Is this a mid Rubik? Was he just messing with me? He's gonna sell a null talisman, but I mean, there's no region. Get some shared tangos, and yeah, sure. Oh well. Yeah, I did not expect a mid Rubik. I must have been done before, I think. Not 100% positive in that, but it's definitely not common at all. And up against a Tinker is not gonna have a fun time. I can't imagine that being a good matchup. Yeah. Come on, guys, start the game. But my co-caster here, it would be so easy to just talk about random stuff, but I don't. Stuck to solo casting. Freaking Skim would have jumped in, but of course he only messaged me after the draft has already started. That's not good either. Who do I favor here going into this? I mean, considering these weird drafts, I really have no idea. I want to say Penta just because I have the Tinker, and I don't know. It's going to come down to Clockwork and how much you can pressure him early on. Yeah, really hard to call this game with these kind of lineups. At the very least, we have the Phantom Assassin safe lane, so that part is normal. Boogie and the Ancient Apparition supporting here might help out the Tinker a little bit early on, perhaps with some extra wards. And well, this is indeed a mid Rubik. All right, Singularity pulling out all the stops. Bounty Hunter, Invis already. Is he blocking in Katsu here? I think he is. He also sees Nisha on the side. And yeah, Katsu can't actually get out. He has to eat through the trees, and both of them. It's 2 tangos down. Nice victory there already for DNZ, trying to cut down in that region. Because this is indeed an offlane coddle, isn't it? Atas, I mean, his boots, you could also go offlane with that. But then again, so does Katsor, so I might just, I don't know, go both. Really have no idea what they have in mind, honestly.
Thanks be to you.
First last had already claimed the Phantom Assassin, of course, with a tree in. Gotta watch out to when it comes to giving away those too often. And the ball finally gets rolling here. Early wards. None of them are being dewatered really, I don't think. Opsword also plays after these shenanigans with Bounty Hunter, who's sticking around in the bottom right now, and this is indeed some sort of a dual lane. Can provide quite a bit of pressure actually. Pathos has some decent right click damage, and of course Katsor as well with a blast if he hits them on a couple of heroes. But DNZ in the middle of that, Rajix to follow, and they have a couple of slows to work with when they, especially when they get the Janata. But I still don't think that's enough to reset up for the cold feet easily. So they can still get some kills of their own though if they just get the slows off and then just hit them a couple of times with a chilling touch. Also not the worst combo with the stifling dagger because you get that off as well. Top lane I'll sash doing clockwork things. Trying to deal with the Earthshaker who's actually using their tower to get 2 of these cogs. Last says, oh, Pathos slowed down, but he's TPing out. Will be just fine all the way back home. Pick up a TP to rejoin bottom immediately. Meanwhile, Katsor out of experience range right now. DNZ was being spotted out by the ward. I think a couple of right clicks for struggles, but that will make sure that Katsor can at least keep the clarity going. Alright, this mid lane though, Nisha, what's he doing? Better than expected actually, he's leading in terms of CS. So, guess you have, it's kind of similar lasted animation. You also have the feed ball to work with to kind of mess with the Tinker quite a bit. Still level 1 on the Bounty Hunter, so there's no really easy ways to grab kills for them unless Singularity just goes into them. Just exposes themselves to the slows and chilling touch doing some work. Which he has available now on top of the cold feed, so it might turn into something. Top lane at the same time, Alsash got inside the cogs for a little bit. Exotic deal with another nuke. A couple of right clicks will actually be the first blood. Clockwork takes it, he also tanks a bunch of tower shots and there's really no way for him. Actually there's... alright, I forgot they added a bunch of juke paths here, so he'll actually be able to walk away from that one, but he does get sniped by the fissure just in time. At that point he should have just maybe tried to hide a little bit longer or deny himself to the tower, so Yoshika at least doesn't get the experience. As it stands, he is level 3. But first blood advantage still going in favor of Singularity at the very least. Also getting the slight farm advantage overall, I think. Especially with this Rubik mid working out slightly better. Blazemon's Tinker is managing to perform right now. Yeah. Oh, they're gonna go again. And they'll actually find him another nuke, level 2. Should be still in range, that is. So, yeah, takes a couple of tower shots in return, but still south available. That'll be absolutely fine too. A lot of action up top. Earthshaker got a couple of levels, but this is the point we're gonna say, alright, try and do something else, perhaps in the bottom. With this help, they could easily get some of these extra kills. And now, actually, might find Katsur here, chilling touch, not even used yet, but Katsur's still taking a whole lot of right clicks and was trying to fight Pathos with extra slows. Coldfield will proc. That's another easy kill. Awkward position to engage in. No way to really disengage. As well, the slows become even more effective, of course. We can't really juke even through the trees. This Rubik though. Still don't see obviously leading the last hits, but at the same time also don't see how big of an impact he's actually going to have later. Even if he does get this extra bit of gold in mid and levels early. One of the kind of items he wants to build to like offset his disadvantages in terms of tankiness and this ability to stay in a team fight, but he might just try to go straight for some sort of mobility item for now. Bloody Deer has Wraith Band, some raindrops. Atos? Oh, the TP's out. There's actually something cancelled at the end, it does with the Shuriken toss. Atos, there was a TP scroll as well, so 50 cooldown to drain. Not sure what expected to happen with that. Elisash not choosing to go a bit more aggressive here, perhaps towards mid lane. It's only level 2 though, so a bit of an issue, especially if you compare that to DNZ, who's also only level 2, but he was in a tri-lane scenario. Whereas the top lane was straight up just a dual lane. You get maximum March. Oh, Rocket. I think if you went for like the lane dominating builds, 2-2, and Rockets and Laser, maybe Rubik wouldn't have had that good of a time. You know, obviously you still don't go early points up into the no build. As it stands right now, even only got level 6 and got his smarter machines. No, bottom Pathos is surviving this? God damn it. The auto taunt as well. TPing out low HP will trigger that one. And yeah, no vision. Only that one quelling blade here, and of course trees among trees. Not always easy to find the right one. Arthur's still doing alright. Has the face wood going already, so that he's the +1 to any sort of engagement with a good amount of damage output. Luna's also doing well, going straight for the Mask of Madness after the casual boots. It's all focused on some early game prowess, the ability to take team fights, and well, as effective as the bottom lane has been securing these 2 kills early, I don't think it's enough. Sash has been spotted out, so this TP rotation is known. But that only means that Penta will probably be forced to play a lot more defensively here. They can't really do anything against this, even if Blazemon starts rotating around. He gets caught in the wrong position, he's just straight up dead, with a march down or not. But speaking of March, Nisha of course having his own. Pretty useful to have, just pushing out the lanes himself. Now, let's get some help of his own. Perhaps Alusash finds an opening. Just walk in with a battery assault. Of course, no level 6 for a while. Otherwise it would have been a very easy kill onto the tanker. Normally when you see a bounty hunter, you expect him to be very active early on, and well, down to half health with just a couple of right clicks and straight up jump in, but well, this time they were able to just clean through the trees of the Sprout Katsaw. Opna Blast will connect on DNZ, but barely not enough damage to actually finish him off. Very unfortunate indeed. Line 4 and 2 here, 8 minutes in. Nothing too crazy, mostly static lanes still. Are there any stacks if a Blaze won't take advantage of? Not really, of course. Very hard to stack and supports a collude to the safe lane to make sure that the Phantom Assassin has a decent enough time. But I think overall Singularity is getting the better end of this. Exotic of course on the top. Almost has that Mask of Madness. Middle lane, Nisha keeps farming and farming. He definitely won this lane heavily. More than he should, in my opinion. Considering he's up against a Tinker, but yeah, as I said, Blazemon not going for the rocket build. Kind of making that possible for Nisha. We're 10 minutes in. We see the towers being pinged down. But looks like Penta want to go for another kill. There it is. For right clicks, another crit. Not even necessary, maybe, but hey, maybe it is. What? Rogic somehow pushed out. Still eats through trees and does get right click down on the on the Nature's Prophet. But Elusash got the Ancient Apparition. Well, the other TP rotations got the trade up against the PA. So pretty good trade as far as Singularity is concerned this time around. Maybe something for Penta to think about. A little bit of extra space for the Coddle in mid, while Nisha, well, coming back now, so... Phantom Strike Stolen, not exactly useful for this kind of hero. He was hoping for the max level dagger, which would have been disastrous for anyone who was facing a mid. Didn't quite get it. So my own question is when Singularity wants to decide to take a more active role and actually pushing down objectives. Because they seem to be right on the path there. Doric deal with his very early Mask of Madness also of course helps him to just clear through these stacks that they've been able to make for themselves. That's going to push him even further ahead in terms of net worth. Bottom lane, okay, it was just jumping on treants this time, not on the actual profit. Oh man. Tower about to go down. Nisha, they've sealed real one now. They should be able to find it out anyway. The tower goes down. The catapult, and Nisha was looking to try and pressure Blakesman perhaps a little bit. If we were to turn around. PNT, still scouting what's going on. He now sees Elisage. Turning this round here, Dust is there. Battery Assault going at level 3. That's a lot of damage here, and he will almost get the kill on DNZ. Martial Machines are keeping Nisha from coming through to really help out and commit to something else. Unless that was his march, I couldn't tell. Yeah. Bit unfortunate that you got caught out there, but yeah, that's something that you have to expect. There's a bounty hunter on the field and you're not exactly sure where he's at. PNT will be looking for these kind of openings. I was looking for one down bottom. Patos died 3 times so far in his bottom lane, even while hugging the tower, so this is not particularly safe for him still. Just between the bounty hunter and the PA at this point. Rajix gets a couple of good crits. Should be a dead prophet, but well, that should also be a dead Oshaka. Just being run down by Elisage and Nisha. TP in from Patos just in case, and now with him being here as well, Exotic Deer also pushing a wave in, they will be able to climb another tier 1 tower. It's something that Penta cannot contest. And soon, oh no, there's Dust, there's a Central plop down. They were expecting DNZ to come here instead. Boogie, he's the one actually running into the trap. Even easier kill, really. And Penta not quite fight ready just yet. And you have a Tinker who just got his boots of travel though, so that's really good. Pretty good timing still. Bottom lane, Katsuo. Well, there's TP's coming through. Drought eats his way through. Does have another jump available, but the Eclipse being used here. Rajix actually barely able to stay alive. Exotic Deer really wants to get this kill, but now he's forced to go straight into Blazemon. A couple of nukes being thrown out. DNZ, well, thanks one more Listen Beam, but the damage has already been done. Singularity. Throwing away heroes now. 2 more coming through. Elisage doesn't have the hookshot available. He sees Phantom Assassin. Links to Boogie here. A couple of right clicks from Nisha. Not missing. Will be able to secure the kill now. Well, let's see. Earthshaker coming through. Ancient Apparition with the Ice Blast. Boogie will give us life, but maybe setting up Nisha, who's still going in here. Blazemon running TP. Unable to really put him over the edge though still. Only level 1 rockets or level 2 evens. Got nearly enough damage up against it's kind of a high level Rurik. He skipped extra points in telekinesis and already got 3 points up into the null field. So this is a skill build that allows Singularity to actually stay in these marches for a little bit. Which is the craziest part. Of course, textbook says against Tinker you want to eventually build makes him like a pipe and grab something for even Rurik himself to take care of. Otherwise, Keep of Light would also be a nice option for it, but well, his Northfield passive is sort of like a pipe as well. At least when it comes to that aura magic resistance that you give to everybody.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And of course, being mid, you have these other levels to work with. Nisha now with the Midas going as well, so he can go for these, for whatever he wants. Has a Shadow Blade queued up to be a bit more of an initiator.
This should make my life easier.
Top lane being pressured now by Penta. Singularity, just farming for now. So I realize that this is going on here in Katsuo. Yeah, he'll face tank a couple of nukes. Patos should be able to turn this into a trade though with these extra trees. Oh, Booey. Caught out by the rocket. Elisage able to just run him down. Oh, will he? W? Doesn't actually have enough mana for the cogs, but... Oh man, Coldfield taking forever to proc Ancient Apparition, unable to use that to defend himself, so it's just a straight up solo kill for Clockwork.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, the tower didn't even go down. It was like, God knows how many heroes up here, but all they really did was kill the Keeper of the Light. Didn't do a single point of damage almost to this tier 1. Minotaur bottom, of course. Yeah, they did prevent any extra damage to this tower as well. Now with massive rotations, I think you might want to set up for some sort of fight. You have to blink on the Earthshaker freshly completed, so It's, you might see it now if they clicked him. PNZ though ends up falling. That is on me in the back. Couple of nukes here. Nisha not really feeling it once again. 4 points up into that null field. Able to just walk away for now. Up towards his friend, but damage over time was enough to finally finish him off. Now Rajik's looking for more. The last are the nukes, the former laser tinker. And this time it is Penta's balls who, with that, was able to run him down. Burst him down even after the fact. 3 heroes for nothing, bit unfortunate. Luna at the very least. Still farming, still way on top of the net worth chart up against Tinker. Of course, granted, once again, they haven't really been able to make too many stacks on the side of Penta, whereas Singularity really enjoyed a lot of those. Even another one on the hard camp here for Exotic Deer to take advantage of, and going for the Manta style. I can agree with that. If you're thinking about the split pushing components, that adds on top of that. Nice little hookshot there onto the this bounty hunter, I think. Yeah, he's trying to protect himself. The blast coming through, and another proc there. Elisash will die to the ice blast though, as well as Blazebond who comes in. Because without the Rubik there, his nukes do a lot more damage. Even the magic damage based ones. This is a game of skirmishes, and eventually it's gonna turn more and more into a game of avoiding fights more than anything else. I mean, you have a Tinker on one side, and then like a Nature's Prophet and a Cardinal on the other. And the Luna who's going for Manta style, which is not necessarily the like the go-to build anymore. At least not always. It's something you can't skip these days, because there's so many other options as well. Yeah, Patos. Well, smoke will drop. They see him, they track him, they burst him down. Easy gold, easy money. Exotic Deer just made the rotation bottom as well, and now just scuttering on out of there with the extra movement speed from the mask. The entirety of Penta's lineup down here, so should really be able to take a tower. Like, you'd think so, but none of them actually really good tower hitters. So Phantom Assassin even going for no quick Desolator or anything, even just a Valley Blightstone. He went straight for Earth Defiance, and yeah, that Battle Fury queued up now. Kinda neat that, because you know that there's gonna be treants all over the place. Now, okay, speaking of treants, Blazemon was already in TP out, nothing that Patos can actually do to cancel that one. I think he also lost all of his treants to the marches, so that was a bit of a gift towards Blazemon more than anything else. But Nisha will have the Shadow Blade completed soon, unless he's being caught out now. As the TP through, he realizes things are happening, it's being recalled, but that'll be cancelled. A lot of damage, another track kill, with a lot of people around, so Penta are making this work. They want to grab these kills. Right now they're not grabbing any extra objectives off of that though, and this could be the core issue. Once again, no real building hitters. You can get rid of creep waves, Blazemon just bouncing around every which way, but you need to be able to win proper team fight and not just like pick-offs later down the line to actually be able to take tier 4s or tier 3s, even tier 2s honestly. Playing my sash. Oh, sees him, actually catches him just on the edge of the rocket here. No mana to follow up with anything though. He does have the W. But of course, keeping track is more than enough. As Luna comes through, more vision. Runs right into the creeper. Actually gets a blink off and another nuke just in time though. He tried, but he needs to go inside the tree line, I think, to have a shot. Nisha just throwing off a Shadow Blade, gets right click off, a couple of right clicks, nukes, and Storm Ice Blast, pretty damn good, but of course, Ancient Apparition got his own one off. Blazemon able to swoop in for the trade. That's an issue, Blazemon. He is caught up to Luna at this point, only 1,000 gold away or so. Boots of Travel, Bling, Soul Ring. Now it's going straight for the axe, so it's gonna get worse and worse. the impact that this thing can have. I mean, this is power spike coming up now, and there it is again. Patos backed up, so no way for him to get the hell out of there. Couple rockets being spammed, barely able to make it all the way back to the tier 1 tower, and still gets hit. Almost brought down. And oh, that was closer than even I thought. That last rocket would have sealed the deal. And this is the big problem that Singularity have to deal with, and a lot of that is going to be onto Alastash. Use Hawk Shadow here once again on the Bounty Hunter though, and this might be traded with the Ice Blast coming through. TPs from from Blazemon. He's almost out of mana though, but okay, they still fine. Cool little keep off the light clockwork. Well, died to the Ice Blast taking him out now. Well, Exotic Deer just running at the Tinker with the ultimate. Didn't back off and was low mana, he was just sitting around. Or his teleport got cancelled or something. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is the game plan for Singularity. It has to be just kill Tinker. Period. You kill Tinker, everything else gets so much easier. And I guess you also have to avoid like the wombo combo from Penta between the Earthshaker as well as the Ancient Apparition. Echo Slam into Ice Blast, kind of classic at this point. See that more and more often these days too. So if you group up, you can very easily die to this. Especially if you're that grouped up, and you're also a bit of a target for Phantom Assassin coming through with the cleave now. And like if you crit on a low armor hero like a Rubik and a couple of other hero, or even Kotl, Clockwork, one from Manatown, stuff the extra armor. So all of them are pretty low armor apart from the Luna. If you crit in any of them, the cleave is gonna be ridiculous on anybody else caught in that vicinity. We got a bit early actually. Exotic Deer. Unable to get rid of these creeps, and that'll be an invitation for Penta to just finish off this tier 2. Singularity not in any position to trade this. Bit of an issue. I mean, they're coming through with a couple of treants down in the bottom lane, but something that Blazemon can easily defend whenever he wants to. Now he's just giving his team covering fire up top. I guess he can figure that most of Singularity is sticking around here and looking for him, so he will not teleport to this particular tower just yet. This is tier 1 for tier 2 trades, so it's like, why would you take this? I guess it is nighttime, so Kotl isn't as effective. You don't have the Eclipse for another 15 seconds, so they didn't feel comfortable taking a team fight. I can definitely understand that too. Especially with the Blink Daggers coming out and these extra couple of items on Penta. This will make better. Oh, the hook shot. Sash almost landing him. So on level 1, not the craziest range as yet. That was level 2 that would have hit. Blazemon would have died just straight up. As it stands, they probably won't be able to finish off this tier 2, so a bit of chip damage done there. Meanwhile, Penta just claiming another tier 1 for free. Oh no, this is SNG ward. That Shadow Blade move and scouted out by DNZ. Now Patos, not quite there just yet. Ice Blast will hit. A couple more right clicks will do the trick, but well, the run is there. Nisha with a lift on, but not enough to keep Patos safe. Now Rajix looks to try and bring him down. Will almost be able to. Nisha trying to juke and jive with the jumps, and now the rest of the team coming through to help. Exotic Deer with the ultimate. Rajix will finalize the kill, but at what cost? Oh man. Very interesting game, to say the least, here from both sides. Singularity fighting back, but it's worth remembering that this is core Rubik, so losing him is actually a bigger deal than you might realize.
Smart money.
Yeah, it's, when you run these classic supports and core positions, generally speaking, you need more items. You need to find like good items to try and make them work to. Otherwise, it's just a bit of a waste. It's just for the levels, at the very least in these later stages of the game. Unless you can make use of the early levels early in the game. Okay, yeah, this cards are being dead. PNT, once again, a great game so far. I mean, just scouting out these kind of things. Last rocket will also be able to finish him off, and well, nothing you can do unless this team is already in position. Yeah, DNZ doing a good job here in this mid-game phase, just constantly scouting people out. Blazemon, of course, always ready to TP to the next creep wave. And if he wants to invest into an earlier boost of travel level 2, we can just TP right on top of the bounty hunter. Wouldn't hate that at all. This picking away its singularity is really costing them. Because they can't really go for these kind of pushes that they really want to. They're forced to take unfavorable trades, both objective-wise and just teamfight-wise. And all of this is going to compound soon. Exactly, yeah, and they need a lot out of him because he's like the only real carry, only real damage dealer in the physical department. Nature's Prophet can turn into that as well. Right now it's going for a Silver Edge, more of a utility item, definitely necessary against Phantom Assassin. Might make things a lot easier for sure. And speaking of PA, he's also sitting at 13k net worth. You have the Battle Fury, you have the Skull Basher here on Rajix, so it's... He's also getting to be an issue. And this is where Singularity's draft is starting to crumble a little bit more and more. Right now they can still fight, they can still try and execute it, but at some point this will just end. Shaker climbing up top. Does the 4 staff on top of the blink, goes into Shadow Blade of Zone. Singularity, well, going for an objective here. They have a plan. Trying to execute it. It is daytime for another minute or so, so good time for them to do it. SNG can still rely on the heal from the keeper of the lane. Keep them up to yeah, keep them healthy, and also of course that flying vision can be very useful around this area in particular. And Panther Sports, Ice Blast scouting us down. We do have DNZ and Roger coming through. They do see Elisage on the side. Try and scare him off a little bit. Like they're just gonna let this go instead of forcing anything. I think we could have taken the fight though. I think Echo Slam with Earthshaker trying to sneak in from behind, but yeah, it's probably was in a pretty good position for exactly that. That's why I wasn't meandering about here in this area. So I won't worry about that. We're just worrying about the Earthshaker who's been sticking around top, pushing that one out for a while. Okay, yeah, there it is. Couple of treants, couple of creeps, Echo Slam, easy kill. Elisage, oh, misses the hook. Would have been a good counter kill. So as it stands, Exotic Deer should still be able to finish it off actually, unless Only can sort of... He can blink, yeah. Can force it in a couple of seconds too, so... Unable to get the damage in to keep him from doing that. Means that Earthshaker will be able to survive. Grabbing recalls. And trying to make use of this, but this is all very defensively in nature. They've only been recalling to their side of the map. They have barely been able to push across in any lane, really. Once again, this is not going to get easier as long as Blazemon is alive.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
It's time to drop down some anti-Tinker Woods. Try and catch him out. So far, Penta is doing... It's getting to play the exact game that they wanted to play. Get farm on PA, get farm on Tinker, and then just eventually take the fights that you can, take the trades that you can. Don't care too much about Singularity. They're definitely on a timer. They have the Aegis, they have BKB, they have Manta Stars, and even Skydian Exotic Deer, so it's not like they don't have power. Just need to be able to use it, and right now, well, maybe this is an opportunity. Tier 2 should end up falling. Well, there's a hookshot. They find DNZ once again, forced her out though, so it's not exactly easy. And now, long range artillery, Elisage just can be bursted down from afar. Nothing Singularity can do against this. Still lose the tower, but it's just a sign of what's to come. The way they just straight up got dominated there now. DNZ, well, he's still alive and kicking. Still on track though. Pretty useful for Nisha. Try and keep an eye on him. But yeah, Blazemon Look at this rocket spam. How do you deal with this? Exotic deer, more invis. Invis from this time around now just turns around with an eclipse, but BKB is being used by Rajix and Exotic deer. Full on man fight, but Rajix, without having that extra move, attack speed from the Phantom Strike, you're not actually likely to win this one. Especially with on this side of the river, with Singularity coming in to angle for help. Well, we got the NZ, but Patos caught out near the shrine. Pinging out the ward. Guys, their vision here. Found out. Found out the hard way though. Sorry about that. Lane. This could be a big one. There's no BKB here on Phantom Assassin. A couple of nukes, couple of right clicks here. The hookshot for control, but Rajix super tanky at this point. No Silver Edge to get rid of the evasion. If it wasn't for that, then he would have just straight up died, I think. As it stands, able to make us through the rest of his team. Oh man.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Where to go from here? I mean, at this point, Singularity got all the easy objectives that they could. Still have the Aegis for like a minute or two. Alright, yeah. Not for too much longer. It's not really going to allow them to go high ground. Even with Aegis, it's super hard to even keep the creeps alive. With the constant spam of the fishes, the monster machines. And okay, that's tries to initiate him, it blinks into the trees, and then a turnaround perhaps Nisha lifts him up into the air, but they've all lost cat zone now. Nisha might be actually be in trouble if they had detection, but which they do, they have a gem here, but Blazemon coming back home. Patas just leaving his Earthshaker to just defend on his own, probably charging, but now he's coming back only now. So many Invis heroes, and they somehow catch him with that lasso. Oh, with that hook shot. I'm saying lasso, I have no idea. Anyway, that's a gem on the deck. Blazemon on the side, just straight up kills Patos. And now it's just what is going on here? Nisha just jumps away because he stole the what do you call the enchant totem with the axe. Like, seems good, but yeah, it's not gonna protect him from the long range crits. Very weird fight. Everyone has Shadow Blades as well. It's kind of like my pub the other day. One Shadow Blade on Nisha, one on Patos. And we have one on the Earthshaker, and of course, the inbuilt Invis from DNZ is also on the field. But gem still being held onto by them, which is good. Singularity might want to consider buying their own at this point. Luna is now maxed out. It's kind of crazy actually if you think about it. Level 25, only 33.5 minutes in, 801 XP per minute. Gold per minute 721, so Exotic Deer is doing extremely well still. About 5k ahead, it's one full major item ahead of the Phantom Assassin, and this is the Monkey King bar, so extremely effective item at that. With that, they might be able to muscle down Pentos high ground even if they don't realize this. Just been picked up. DNZ here? I don't think so. I might have figured out that the DD rune was missing. Now the ranks rated in. Yeah, there it is. Touch ward down, easy kill.
The seeds of fortune.
Now Kato, he can just recall people as needed. Taking control of the Radiant side jungle. One Exotic Deer takes care of the creep wave on bottom. I really want to push mid here. I don't want to push anything, to just... I don't know. I don't know if I agree with this. They're falling back to farm after they just got a pickoff. I mean, sure, it's not the craziest pickoff in the world, but at the very least, they can push the lanes all the way up towards the high ground. Yeah. I think next item for Exotic Deer. I think Exotic Deer gets boots of travel, and they just profit gets some sort of wave clearing utility, like a Maelstrom. Because at some point, I mean, look at top lane. Already being, it was pushed in a moment ago, being taken care of by Katsuo now, but ideally Katsuo wants to be with the rest of them with the push. And you need someone like Nature's Prophet or the Luna to come through and TP back to lane. Then you can always be recalled by the Coddle. That's how you deal with this kind of Tinker split push. So it's not like they don't have the tools, they just have to actually use them. Go aggressive, can try and catch Penta on the wrong foot, but right now they're not putting any pressure on them, so it's very easy for Penta to avoid that. Smoked up, Roshan actually will respawn in a couple of seconds, so if they go inside the pit, that would be the perfect timing. They draw the line though, beside the pit. And just maybe intercept some of Singularity's heroes, and indeed they do. Patas once again punching back for the particular series, and they find more Atos being used, but Exarchia mantles it off. No wait, Atos is somebody else, I don't know. Anyway, his hex now. The chain hex is online for Blazemon, and well, Echo's down to follow. They burst down the highest farmed hero. Katsu just side casualty here, and well, Elisage caught in the middle of all of that. Blazemon with another recharge, able to finish him off too, get a double kill just like that, and yeah, it's spent on not even breaking the sweat. Let's figure out that Roshan is back, and this is Aegis and Cheese now going into the inventories as well. Singularity just waited too long, played too timidly. That lineup that up against Penta that needed to just go balls to the wall really. Almost 40 minutes in, take these kind of fights. It wasn't really much of a fight. It's just Patos being initiated on, the rest of Singularity not getting out in time. Then, I mean, Luna just got chain hex, chain stunned. You're super tanky, you have a lot of defensive utility between the Mantis Style and the Black King Power, but it hasn't been able to use it. And now, Penta is just in complete control of the game. Goldgraph in the favor as well for the first time. It's not a crazy advantage per se, but just the fact that they've been able to make their turnaround of Singularity had the slight advantage for so long. Just telling really. With the BKB, and yeah, they're playing it right. They have the advantage. They go balls deep. Go straight for tier 3 with the cover of Blazemon Smart Spam. Looking really do against us right now, so Nature's Prophet split push, but he's really itemized for that. He does have the Silver Edge. But apart from that, his item progression has just stopped because he died so often. 2, 10, and 6. He isn't able to provide as much of a team as he needs to. That's an issue, because you have mid Rubik. There it is. Well, hands up. Going for a bottom tier 2. Singularity should figure this out. This was a dire scan coming through. Just making sure that this particular high ground is clear for now. And DNZ, if he knows it or not, he just avoided the scan barely. Try and take over vision here. They have a ward there already, of course, but it's about to time out. Group stick forever. Holy shit. But yeah. How do you deal with this Phantom Assassin now? And Rajix is Basher, BKB and is Satanic too. Not even mentioning the Aegis, so. A very hard sell. The one advantage the Singularity still have is that they have better tower hitters. It still takes Penta forever to actually burn through these buildings. But if you can't actually get to towers, it's not a big issue. Oh well. Can Penta keep the pressure up? And keep the momentum up that they've gotten? They still have the Aegis for a little bit, so I think they can make use of that. They control the Disa jungle. Keep fighting Singularity. And DNC is planting down these wards to accomplish that, so it's... Yes, they have that idea, just trying to decide on what lane they want to go on. Bottom lane, not too much damage being done here. They've done an okay amount to the mid tier 1, tier 3 tower. I don't know. What they need is a Desolator actually on somebody. Maybe even the Earthshaker. With Shake or Bounty Hunter, one of those. I mean, just go for Desolated, get the -9 on towers, make things a little bit easier. But for now, they're grouping up, they're smoking. In the linear charge, okay, but Singularity also smoked here. The fight breaks out, BKBs, Eclipse galore, everything being dropped. And, well, men fight with Dragix up against Exotic Deer, now turns it on to Pathos. With the W being available now, well, he still see Aegis, so Exotic Deer might think that he's ahead, but he really isn't. Now Blazemon with follow-up, so is the Earthshaker, blinking up to the high ground, gets the follow-up control in Singularity. They're gonna lose that 5th hero here as well. Nisha jumping about, but no Aftershock means not even a stun coming from that spell. All he does is looks funny. Full 5-man wipe, and Penta not even breaking the sweat. Way too much to throw. Way too much to throw at Singularity that they cannot really deal with, because you only have a Luna who's just forced to try and fight against a Phantom Assassin. More than matching her right now in terms of net worth. I mean, I was talking about it earlier, Rajix, he was 5k behind the Luna, and now it's like, what, 1.3k ahead or something? That says everything you need to know. Tower still staying alive, because once again they have no tower hitters, but they will be able to muscle it down eventually. Blazemon starts with a March spam, and well, it's already down to half health between that as well as the rockets and the daggers. Now, well, BKB being used. Bunch of follow-up spells. Pathos dies one more time in this game, maybe the last time. He does a buyback. I don't see Singularity defending this really. Then he racks down. Oh god, that was the wrong button. Rajix. Don't have the BKB. I just right clicked a little bit. They forced out another charge from Exotic to use. Just charging out, trying to catch somebody, but he just can't. Now the roots. Blows up, turning things around, and but Blazemon, he can just play Tinker. He doesn't care, he just spent like 50 rockets at everybody. He has 5 stacks of sacrifice on top of him. So it's like what, 5 times, at least 2 rockets came out every single time. Was there a max of 4 with the axe? So it's at least 10 rockets. I think they just threw out there in the blink of an eye almost. What do you do here for Singularity? I mean, you've drafted a lineup that's supposed to be ahead. You're supposed to be ones pressuring the lanes and making Penta look behind themselves. And never really be able to commit for a long fight like this. Because if this was the case, if Singularity had more control over the map, then if Penta went for these kind of plays where it take like 1 or 2 minutes to kill buildings. And Singularity should have been in a position to immediately trade, but this hasn't really been the case because they're so far behind, and they're actually the ones who are being split pushed. And this is the fierce Batman right there. Shaker shadow blading forward here, trying to find an easy kill, and there it is. There's the clockwork. Force of the way here. Ice Blast will miss his results, so far so good. And now force the forward onto Boogie. They really want to kill him. Also with the Eclipse being committed, Exotic Deer will get that one. Now, well, the Abyssal Blade keeping him there, but the crits aren't quite coming there from Rachi. Oh god, on me! A beautiful Echo Slam here and an extra double kill with the foot in the back. Blazemon setting him up for that. We were down just like that, and it's only the Ancient Apparition who died. You don't have a creep F here? No, okay. So for once, it actually worked out for Singularity. The way it's supposed to. Just even if they win a team fight, they're not supposed to have any creeps in the base, so the range tracks aren't even going to fall immediately off of this, but none of these heroes have buyback. The mid Rubik down for 50 more seconds, and top lane is pushing in. That'll be the focus now. Don't desolate anybody, I think. Yeah. I'm just accepting at this point. This is a very hard thing to do, especially also with the blinding lights coming through. The lane is even further, but yeah, they have all the time in the world. They know that they cannot really lose the fight. That's a big thing. They can't really lose a fight, and that's a big ice blast. Keep of light taken down immediately, no buyback in him either. Earthshaker keeping everyone else at bay with a fissure. There's a full set of Rex down. Now, it's just a matter of rinse and repeat in the bottom lane. Get that tower on the racks, and finish up mid racks, just as a side note, and then you've won the game. I guess technically Singularity can hold against Mega Creeps, but they cannot win against Mega Creeps. Is the other thing. You can hold, but you can't win the game really. I really don't see that happening unless this turns into a 2-hour slugfest where it's just where Penta's just getting so frustrated that they like all die without buyback, and Singularity can just walk across. But it's actually been quite a while until Penta took serious casualties. Perhaps now here, hookshot down the bottom. Fox will miss here to get the lift onto Phantom Assassin. Doesn't have a big beef for another couple of seconds. So far so good, but there it is. Bladesmon on the side. The fissure blocking everybody in, so it's 2 more heroes dead. Or 1 more hero is of course part of slide up top, but yeah. GG. Been a long time coming. Now it's super clear with Luna dying with no buyback left. That's a bit unfortunate, to say the least, there for Penta. Ah, for Singularity, sorry. Again, interesting draft. Experimental draft. Didn't quite work out. I think it could have worked, but it didn't play their timings. Didn't play those strengths they got. They gave Penta enough time for Bladesmon to get going. I mean, he's on 11-1. That's way too little pressure on a Tinker to win a game against him easily. And then Rajix, of course, 15-3. He's been playing super well too. Yeah, a lot of this Tinker's success actually set up by DNZ. He kept finding these kills for him to teleport onto and buff his stats, accelerate his item progression and whatnot. Overall, well played for Penta. So they actually take the lead in this series. Singularity up against the wall now. They might want to break out to more of a traditional draft to turn things around. We'll find out what they do in game number 2. In just a couple of moments' time, so don't go too far away.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's ModMic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
Why does it always seem like I'm moving backwards? Caught up in a dream, everybody's actors. Why does it always seem like people change faces and nothing is real? Better days. Yeah, you know, I've been through some things. Yeah, I've been sending prayers through the roof. Oh, truth. Yeah. Don't need all the answers, just tell me what life is for. One day I'ma wake up with a reaper at the door. Don't need all the answers, just say anything at all. I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, need all the answers, just tell me what life is for. One day I'ma wake up with a reaper at the door. Don't need all the answers, just say anything at all. I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, yeah. I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been waiting on your call. Oh, I've been praying for a minute, I've been waiting on your call. Oh.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's Mod Mic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number 2 here between Team Singularity and Penta Sports Blood in the Streets Invitational, followed by Antline Audio and FYM Hot Sauce. And, well, Penta Sports won game number 1. I actually forgot to announce the Antline Audio MVP of that game. And it is the guy whose hero has been banned out, the bounty hunter taken away by Singularity. And they recognize the same thing that I did. DNC actually did a whole lot that game. Might not have always been super obvious. He's had a 6-6 score line in terms of kills and deaths, but he's got the most assists with 29, and that's the reason for that, right? He's always been able to gather the intelligence, plot down these wards, and just set up the rest of his team for success. And this is the real value. Like, it's extremely valuable, which is why he's the most valuable player of that last game. So let's see where he ends up this time around, as Penta Sports only have to close this one out for their first victory here in the main event. Of course, they already played once up against Comanche. When they first replaced another team, they lost that series and technically dropped out, but they're getting another chance since we've had a couple of other teams also withdrawing from the tournament. Right. Sand King Winter Wyvern to start with. Winter Wyvern, also a very uncommon pick these days. It's one of the 2 heroes that has not been picked or banned in the TI7 regional, so I think that gives you an idea of where the tier is at right now, what teams, how teams judge that hero. And I don't know if this is a kind of a pocket strat for Penta that's coming out now in the back of this, because like, only seeing the Ancient Apparition, Winter Wyvern is not exactly counter to it. Quite the contrary, right? Winter Wyvern's heal will be countered out by the Ancient Apparition Ice Blast very easily. And normally, if you do pick Winter Wyvern, it is up against some sort of heavy physical damage to protect against and also turn against the enemy team with that Winter's Curse ultimate. It's still super strong, but if you see this hero early, then you can definitely pick around that, pick up some heroes that whose right-click damage relies on orb attacks or something like that, which do not get used during the Winter's Curse ultimate. But yeah, we'll see. Could be just a really good setup for the Sand King though, of course, as well. Winter Wyvern comes in, or flies in with the Arctic Burn, drops the ultimate, catches a few heroes. Sand King can just walk up, Burst Strike, Epicenter channeled, and do a whole lot of work with that, but it's uncommon, once again, to say the least.
Reserve time.
Question is what kind of draft singularity you want to go for, and Task Engine Apparition, pretty good start, or perhaps some sort of aggro trial lane even. Like Tusk rolls in, blocks somebody off with the shards. It's a pretty decent setup for the cold feet to proc, which is what can make Ancient Apparition work in these kind of situations here. That, and of course the Chilling Touch, adding to your damage output substantially in the first couple of minutes. Of course, just being Roaming Tusk and a safe lane Ancient Apparition.
Seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
And take Panther's boss taking out some of these pushing and heavy pushing heroes in general. In the second phase here, Death Prophet out mid. There was a Nature's Prophet that we saw from Patos last game, and Singularity also taking out the Earthshake and the Storm Spirit.
10 seconds remaining.
Faceless Void.
I don't wonder why.
Radiant team
The Storm Spirit, yeah, but I don't know. Penta go back for a puck. Could be made, but I think they prefer to run that off lane, which would put the Sanking in the 4 position.
10 seconds remaining.
It's tricky, I think, Sanking in 4. I
5
think you'd rather have him as a 3, so he can get his levels early, so he can then fall back into the jungle, perhaps if worst comes to worst. But as a 4 position, you can kind of fall behind very early if you don't set up for kills. We'll find out. Penta now is still being thrown up into Wyvern. I mean, normally if you have the Sand King, like you're looking for more team fight, you have that with a puck as well. So I would say Darkseer right now as an offlaner would be a good option. Just to like vacuum into Burrow Strike but whatnot, but not really too much space for it. Instead they go for the Enigma. Could also be an offlaner now, or a jungler, greedy jungler, also an option. Definitely going heavy on this AoE crowd control. Singularity, there's some good combo breakers already. I mean, Tusk can kind of save somebody at times. He isn't caught out in the middle of that. Silencer, and speaking of combo breaker, that's a big one. Very good against Puck. Great against Enigma, just cancelling out the black hole whenever he throws it. Then you also have to face his Void, right? If he throws down the right current sphere, worst comes to worst.
10 seconds remaining.
Best thing about this is that I think this should be a core silencer, perhaps on the middle lane. Could also still be safe, faces Void off lane. Like there's still some flexibility left for Singularity to maybe work around the next bend from Penta. Penta, of course, having the last pick, they can try and figure out where Singularity want to go once they see every single hero that they have. But right now, this does look like perhaps the safe lane faces Void and a mid silencer. Or safe lane silencer. Once again, flexibility. Not sure what else they need right now. Assassin, yeah.
Dire team back.
Could very well be just a safe lane Void and a mid silencer, and just still that aggressive trial lane that was bringing into play earlier. So maybe something like a Vengeful Spirit even.
10 seconds remaining.
Right now, Penta Sports, they don't actually have the best supports for the defensive trial lane. You pretty much only have the Winter Wyvern. It's a very limited impact up against the trial lane. And Sand King, if he's running about there, if that's an Enigma offlane, there's only also so much you can do at level 1. I think that's something that Singularity might have realized, that there's an opening there to exploit. Now though they have to ban somebody, Penta Sports more than likely still looking for 1 position core for Rajix. And I don't know, the world is the oyster really.
Drow Ranger.
Maybe Sven. Okay, what? Singularity with a Drow.
Radiant
Okay.
team pick.
Could still be an aggro try with the Void, but Drow Ranger kind of needs the babysitting. And I don't think you want to run Drow with Alien Tusk aggro. So, might very well be just some standard laning setup for
10
Singularity.
seconds remaining.
But then again, last time they had a very crazy draft. Wouldn't be too would be too surprised if they also threw around these heroes in different lanes than we're used to. Anyway, Venomancer last pick for Penta. Very good choice, all things considered. A couple of very squishy heroes on side Singularity in terms of health pool. Venomancer. Once you've got your ultimate and your Gale off, you don't really care too much about being silenced. Yeah, definitely see that working out. But Singularity with the last pick Drow in the mid silencer now as Nisha picks it up. This can get out of control fast. That's kind of the main issue. And if Penta sports cannot make, if they can get mileage out of their ultimates,
10 seconds
then
remaining.
they might just be run over and just pushed down
5 seconds
in
remaining.
the space of like 25-30 minutes. But that, a lot of that is going to come down to Singularity actually going for these plays. I mean, last time they also had a game plan but didn't really execute on it. This time around they have a similar game plan in a lot of ways. It relies on them being active, and if they're not, well, there's a lot of space for Penta once again to just do what they want to do. Right. New game, new luck. Guess you're just tuning in. Welcome. My name is Dragon Drop. I'm bringing you this series for the Blood in the Streets tournament.
Prepare for battle.
Brought to you by Antline Audio and FYM Hot Sauce. Singularity, the down 1-0. If they lose this game, then they're out of the tournament for good. Unless some other team drops out and they're to replace them again, I suppose. Penta though, well, can afford to take it a little bit easy if they want to. But of course, they also want to make it one step further right now if they can. Like Blazemon on a mid puck. Magic's on one position, Venomancer together with Boogie on the Winter Wyvern. PNT in the 4th position, Sanking and the offlane Enigma, so as expected. What is that taunt from the Void? Looked very interesting. There it is.
30 seconds to battle.
Oh, weird dance moves coming through, alright. Also, the most standard laning setup, I suppose, from Singularity. Offlane Void, mid silencer, cats are roaming, and then just Ancient Apparition, Elistash helping out on top lane. Oh, look at this though. Bit of an invasion going on, and can't really get versus Void. He does have that the time walk available. But they did force out any sort of contestation here from Singularity, so they get the 2 bounty runes. 3 bounty runes even. And the Sash was looking for the top, but only me. Helping to guard that for Blazemon. So, good start there for Penta. And, okay. Blazemon, of course, not being greedy, not going for the phase shift first. Instead, going for the defensive illusory orb, so he's able to counterplay any sort of aggression that Tusk might be looking for in his middle lane. Unless Blazemon uses it over aggressively, he should be absolutely fine. Right now, he's getting some extra help from Boogie. Trying to counter out this this 2-man aggression from the Tusk. We also saw an early TP from DNZ, which is maybe a bit overkill. We were hoping for a kill there. It's not a whole lot he can do in the bottom lane against Pathos without the at least 1 point up into the Caustic Finale to try and deal with the Void. Oh wow, Boogie is actually committing for this. I was why? Like you want to Wyvern and you're not actually doing damage. You're level 1, even with Arctic Burn you have 39 right click damage, which is worse than a Crystal Maiden almost. And well, Blazemon will still get the kill because Tusk somehow, for some reason, walked the Radiant side jungle rather than just going back high ground. I would fight this up, but I have no explanation for why this was actually happening. And now, Blazeman, despite the kill, is actually being right-clicked down. Nisha, if he's getting the kill. Okay. It would have been yet another one of these moments that I wasn't really gonna be sure about. But yeah, now again DNZ smoked up, still level 1. Nisha is still sitting at 2/3 of his health points, and there should be a death ball, right? Stun to follow up, extra nukes, extra right clicks, and yeah, there it is. This is the way they expect it to go. Bottom lane, Katsov found a target, Rajix. He's the one that cannot protect himself up against these kind of movements. Way too far forward. Or inside the ice shards. Snowball also used, so yeah. That's getting a lot done. He has a much easier time of it than the Sand King, I suppose. Now, going top. I think they saw him and just briefly came into vision. What was going into this particular nook. Also, dire scan is confirming that suspicion. So Exotic Deer shouldn't really expose himself. But it does still mean that he's missing out on some CS here. Middle lane, gonna go on Nisha again. Bottom lane, Rajix will fall. He going heavily up against Patos, but he'll be able to survive, maybe barely. And keep the camera on him while Nisha, right click down. The last one from Blazeman finishes him off. Yeah, faces void. Barely surviving this one, even still sticking around the 20 health points, sitting in lane before he TP's out to get another last hit. Bold moves there, but it's working out. Meanwhile, all this happening top lane is the least, the lane with the least action so far. Enigma just doing his thing, already up to level 4. Going towards the Soul Ring, so he can also always go back to the side jungle, get some extra CS there. So he's doing well. Close to Dry Ranger though. By a little bit of pressure being put on, Exotic D is still keeping rather high on the CS chart. Especially compared to Rajix, of course, who's had a lot of issues. Already died twice. And going for the man fighting build. No wards just yet. On a sash. I stole the bounty rune from Blazemon. Silence will miss. The right clicks won't though. That's enough damage. Blazemon dominating spree already. 4 kills. Just like that. Can't help but think that this is like I don't know, it's really hard to call because bottom lane has been going exceptionally well. Top lane, okay, they actually get the kill there. So Katsura's doing a really good job just creating space, but Blazemon getting so many kills this early on can only be an issue. It can only get really bad once he starts to put that into a Veil, put that into a Blink. Now, put that into more kills perhaps. Burst Strike across the trees will hit Alisashin the whole lot he can do, but well, they all have that Arcane Curse going from Nisha at level 3, so that will potentially set them up, but if they had some proper heroes to fall back on. His voice couldn't, he was being right-clicked down and taken out by the Venomancer somehow. And these movements just overall favor Penta more. It's Katsu, as I said, Katsu's doing a good job, but he's just only one guy. If he was there in the middle of that fight, if he had, then we'll check where it was. DP was still on cooldown, I believe, so he couldn't join, but if he did, could have easily turned it into kills with all of this damage over time coming through from the silence as it stands. Penta just got a really good trade. All there is to it. Patos, of course, also being solo killed by Venomancer at this point, not ideal, not at all. Leaving it at the 2 points up into... Okay, Alsash once again, just poured out more or less. It just walks into this 4-man lineup here at this point from Penta. They get the slow on Katsa, should be able to right-click him down on... Yeah, well, I also have another stun available to go for the safe play and cancel the TP. mean, on paper, this is the way this is supposed to go, I suppose, in a 1v1. Venomancer up against the Faceless Void, who doesn't really deal well with damage over time. Top lane, ugh. Owned by me, baiting it out. And bottom lane, the stun into right clicks. He's still alive here. He already used the time mark though. Still on cooldown. DNZ will even be able to survive, so. And that's just getting so much done across the map. You're in top lane here, Blazemore helping out after the black hole was used. Getting the kill on the Drown Ranger. And this is the exact opposite of the Singularity need to do. They need to be ones getting these type of kills and create space for Drow Ranger to keep farming. It's just hit level 6 now, which is alright. Exotic they can always catch up, but Silencer died 3 times already. That's a hero that cannot fall behind. Faces Void just hit level 6, maybe you can do something with that. Ancient Apparition, Elisash, only level 3. And without the Ice Blast, there's a lot of damage potential missing right now. Snowball will be dodged, of course. It's on Cats, another turnaround is real. The coil, well as the stun on the task. Cats will just straight up die. Nisha also not blocking for royalties. No defensive utility whatsoever. Now Patas, maybe it was a bait. The turnaround is real. Puck being thrown, being right click down. Global Silence to follow here to try and prevent the Burst Strike away. DNZ. Burst Strikes now might just take out the Arcane Curse. So he doesn't go for it, and almost takes out to the cold feet, but breaks it just in time. Chronosphere getting the kill on the highest found here on the map, but the kill went to the Ancient Apparition. Got a lot of gold out of it, but I don't think gold is a big issue unless he turns a straight into a Midas, which he might be considering, but no. Going into the boots, deciding on those. Probably the better idea, but I don't even know at this point. Top lane. Inzi and Boogie. That duo created so much space. More than I thought was possible with the Winter Wyvern involved. But normally a very passive hero, a very defensive hero, but making it work. Just a little bit of extra slow. The fail safe and the Cold Embrace, and of course if we get the Splinter Blast off, it's a good nuke and extra slow as well. Right now they're setting to cover the push from Enigma. Singularity are gonna take the bait, smoke up themselves. Castle, Exotic Deer. They get caught out here. Could be a big issue. Black Hole, not quite available. 20 seconds still on cooldown because it takes forever. Now it gets gone on with Snowball. He walks right into the rest of his team. Snowball only won. The Silence actually preventing Sand King from going for it immediately. Now extra slows coming through. Cold Feet will not quite proc. And look at this. The Manifest and the right click is almost enough to bring down Drow Ranger. Release the isolate Elisash on the side, and hey, Blazemon coming through. Just snipe that hero off. Cats are TPing out. Call was all you use for Drows, so that'll be the end of that. But hey, play worked. Enigma baiting out this movement from Singularity, and Penta just playing them like a fiddle. Meanwhile, down bottom, Rajix might be in trouble though. It doesn't have doesn't have his ultimate just yet. Throughout the Gale onto the Ancient Apparition. Snowball comes through as Capsule makes a rotation. We'll get the Faceless Void though, DNZ. Rotation of his zone, able to snack that away, but now... Okay, sorry I had a bit of a leg spike there, but Sand King's actually still alive, trying to juke and jive, but eventually gets bursted down. And the Global Silence, maybe set up for the puck, but he's pretty damn strong. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, I think...
Get up if you can.
Wait. They all died down here. Okay, I don't even know. Alistair just ticked out to the poison. Penta's just so far away. So far ahead of them right now. At least that's what it feels like. It's only 3k advantage despite the 10 kill advantage. Those early kills aren't all that valuable in terms of gold, but it really matters where this gold is at right now. Blazemon able to make good use of that Veil. Already halfway to Blink Dagger now as well. We have a Venomancer who's got a lot of levels. He went for the standard build 2-2 and then into the Plague Wards. Really pointing the ultimate is very much optional. He's going for more of a passive lane oriented build where he's just sticking around here rather than fighting with the rest of his team. So he's just max out the Plague Wards and then maxing out these other utility spells, which are very, very strong early. And this is something that Singularity can't really defend unless you want to commit everything. With the Chronosphere, you need to have the Drow Ranger there to right click, but Exotic Deer isn't even there yet. There's so much he can really do.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Penta, they're the ones keeping up the pressure. Nisha, Epicenter being channeled. Nisha's none the wiser here. Epicenter comes through in the back. But they will lose the silencer before I can throw out any more spells. They will get the pack though, so in that sense, 1-for-1 trade. Nisha even dies here and don't actually have enough damage to finish him off. So Penta, well, they get the black hole of Rajax to follow. With Zone Gale, a couple of right clicks. They will get Katsu, especially with the buyback there from Blazemon. He doesn't want to let this stand. And get the 1 kill. Pathos, the coil will actually miss. Oh, get the stun. The Shrine being used just to keep him topped up. Let's have another Time Walk. Not actually gonna catch him or the silencer. Okay, so maybe curse them a little bit. Really thought the Epicenter with the burst strike was gonna be enough, but I think they were relying on Blazemon to actually make that track, but he got intercepted with the Faceless Void. Early buyback, of course, not the craziest amount of dollars being spent, but it does set him back quite a bit. That death and the buyback. Still no closer to his Blink Dagger. Top lane. If they can get a snowball, maybe. Down to DNZ though, and he still had the Infused Raindrops going with Silence. Burst Strike's available now. And we'll just walk away. I try to, but caught with another arrow to slow him down. Ah, Exotic Deer, what are you doing? Last right click, thinking it was going to be enough, he turns around towards the creep wave, and that means the DNZ is actually alive unless... Oh no! So freaking close. So freaking close.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Oh man.
Dire's structures are fortified.
The Ice Blast, just an inch short. Oh, this time they drop a whole lot more on the Silence. Like, low Silence comes through, but damage over time already on top of him. He should take out eventually, unless he moves back to base, which he's trying to do now. And, well, Venomancer already took his build. Puck being healed up now. No orb available, which means he can't walk away. Gets the Silence off, and just not enough. Singularity proved tankier than I gave them credit for. And able to respawn at this point. Chronosphere even coming back off cooldown only now, so they have that available if they want to go a bit more aggressive themselves, but of course having no covering fire from the global silence makes it a little bit more interesting. But Venomancer, I mean, if that's a level 2 Poison Nova or just the max level Venomous Scale, I think Silencer just dies before the TP comes through as it stands. Able to withstand that harassment. Once again, that's a big issue. Puck dying again. Had a really good start. 10-3-3. It's a crazy scoreline, but not translating into items. Or into more items, I should say. It's only 15 minutes in. Like, it's not even like he should definitely have Veil Blink in any circumstance. He's shifting more into like a more standard timing than he really shouldn't have needed to with the amount of kills that he's getting, but now establishing confidence. They got the kill up top. Meanwhile, they do lose Enigma and as well as Boogie in the mid though. That was a Chronosphere used while that was happening. Also not being caught out on the sides. Singularity definitely catching up. Once again, a lot of gold going in favor of the Ancient Apparitions, so might just go straight for the axe now at this point. Don't think you stop for Midas. Then again, a lot of Ancient Apparitions still do that. Just because it guarantees that you eventually get an axe, whereas if you try and build into the components now, it might just not get the farm. Might just be killed every single team fight rather than getting the kills yourself. Anyway, Penta Sports now realizing, alright, no Chronosphere, maybe we can make something happen. We have our Black Hole available, we have our Poison Nova, on level 1 mind you, but still. Combine that up with the Black Hole, definitely useful still. But they decide to just settle on the on the tier 1 tower before falling back to farm up their next items. The Veil on Venomancer is what? Not sure if that was planned or miscommunication, because you already have that Veil on the puck. It's great to have that extra region and whatnot, but I think you'd just rather go straight for the pipe as he's building into now instead, and or just I don't know, just Blink Dagger or Hurricane Pike even. I don't think you build a second Veil. Don't get me wrong, stats are good as I said, but it's not that good. Curious. Anyway, Dire actually find out that someone is here, waiting in the wings, sanking with his Blink Dagger. Getting it just with the puck, finishing him up now as well. They do see the Ancient Apparition, now the Stash. Let's go for the early stuff of Wizardry, so keeping his options open if he wants to get the axe or turn it into a 4-star. TP's out just in time. DNZ was right on the money with that burst strike actually. Just half a second too late. Things being out, Chronosphere is being straight up used on a Venomancer, followed up the stair from Nisha, throwing out nukes, right clicks, low signs as well. They really don't want him to get off the Poison Nova, and he will not be able to. Now, Blazemon's still able to go for the counter initiation here. Oh, the snowball immediately there to cancel the black hole, and that might have just saved the fight. Another Ice Blast comes through, Exotic Deer will end up falling here, but at what cost? And the Sage of all people on a mega kill streak. DNZ, do they have Detection Film? They do indeed. Katsu once again. Ready when they need him. And, well, the Cold Embrace. Just a desperate attempt. Ultimately, it's a triple kill from Nisha. Don't have a creep wave with them, so they can't immediately turn this into a tier 1 tower, unfortunately. Might just stick around and finish it off anyway. And do we want to instead Nisha? Gotta be careful though. Tanking tower and tank. Let's tank the Splinter Blast, so he has to walk away now, but well. With the Wyvern sticking around, gets bashed off. The Ice Blast will hit onto Rogix as well. Partos undoing some of the damage now. He has to TP back to base though. Oh, they get this Venomancer though. Penta. Will they get Nisha? Looks like this time around they will finish him off. Seems like they're very staggered. They're like very haphazard, I think is the way to say it with their team fights. Maybe not respecting singularity enough going into these, and try to make it better. Trying to go for these counter initiations. I mean, to be fair, there would have been a clean sweep the other way, almost, if Enigma could have channeled that black hole fully, but Katsu just the snowball just at the right time. Global Silence was already used, so Panther realized, alright, this is our opening. And go for this black hole, but then Katsu just throwing a wrench into these plans, ultimately making sure that Singularity won that fight. Even though Silencer still ended up dying, he picked up quite a bit of intelligence off of that too. Plus 20 at this point, and this is kind of the beauty that you have, that infinitely scaling carry. Oh, Penta's still sticking around this mid lane. Not even tier 1 to take, it's just straight out they want to take a fight here, I think. Either that, or they just want to ensure that Blazemon doesn't get jumped on again by another just face void, just straight up walking up with the Chronosphere. Right, Penta adds. Look at net worth distribution and see kind of the effect that this kind of gameplay has on them. Blazemon, he's getting so many kills early, but he's fell behind the 4th position in terms of net worth. It's still very close field, don't get me wrong, it's not like he's too far behind, but he's right on top of Blazemon. Right on top of Nisha, sorry. Mixing up my names here. Who doesn't have nearly as good as a scoreline, but he's got these later kills. He's got more farm, so it's actually an issue that they're equal right now, considering the way the laning stage went. And your highest farmer is an Enigma. He has Blink, he's going for BKB, so these are effective items. He also has a Midas to help him along. Venomancer also has the Midas, so it's They have ways to keep themselves in the game. But they shouldn't really be in that position to begin with. They've sort of just been able to snowball a little bit further, but Singularity just gaining enough space. Now Katsuo, well, he's actually choosing to fight. He has the rest of his team coming. Global Silence come through, preventing any sort of counterplay here. Chronosphere catches 2 on the edge, and that's 2 easy kills. Boogie trying to turn things around. That's throw the ultimate up into the Tusk, but it's just not enough. I want to call Alistarch on the side, and he's not exactly one that right-clicks hard at the best of times. 3 more kills. 6 more intelligence for Nisha, and news being tightened around Penta with every single one of these fights. Rajik, he wasn't even part of that. Tried to pick off one. And they paid the price. Now Rajik just gets picked off himself. They have a pipe already on Katsu, I believe. I know, it was just the sort of defiance. He's still dying to this? Well, he had a haste rune, so that'll I'll make sure he actually gets to the shrine, and that'll keep his life safe. Just barely. Playing exotic deer, force across, place one, still chasing, only use the coil. Silence just a little bit too late. They should be able to finish off, yeah. We're able to finish up at the Drow Ranger with the help of Sand King also blinking in. I mean, this is the kind of play that we're looking at earlier, so maybe a slight overextension there from Singularity. Exotic deer being out too far forward, just being run down, but Penta, they have to be very sure that this is the kind of pickoffs that they can actually bring to an end. Because if it doesn't, if Singularity is ready to fight them, then they're winning these fights right now. Because Penta, they're not coming in the full 5-man lineup. If Rajix was in that fight earlier that Penta lost, I would have been able to, at the very least, trade much more favorably. Because we saw what kind of damage he can do with his ultimate in the Gale at this point. As it stands, going in to try and bully down Roche. Singularity seems none the wiser. They have no vision of this area. Lanes are fairly pushed in, so it's not too good of an indication that this is going on. So they'll get that for free, Penta. With that, they get themselves a bit of a some more breathing space. An extra advantage, a lifeline, if you will. Alistarch actually going for Yules instead of the Force Staff or the Axe with that that Staff of Wizardry that he picked up earlier. Trying to adjust some of that damage, dispel some of the silences on himself, perhaps. And another way to cancel Black Hole, I think it's the more important part. At the very least, as long as Enigma doesn't have the BKB in its inventory, but he does have enough money to finish it off now. So the Yules will not be useful in that regard for too much longer. Thing is, it doesn't really help him up against the Global Silence still. He still has to wait on that, because the BKB, it can purge off silences, but it doesn't prevent the Global Silence from cancelling the Black Hole. At the very least, he won't see a repeat of what happened last time around when Katsu was able to cancel it with the snowball, just as it came out. Right. Penta. Still, it's just the way they like to play as a team. They don't like sitting on their asses, and even when 2 of their heroes have Midases, they want to be the ones that are active. And Alistarch, he's been sitting there for like a solid minute. They want to go past, they want to find more. They do see Pathos T being out, so they'll just have to settle for this AA. And actually still alive for longer than I thought. And yeah, that's a wicked 6 kill streak for DNZ. It's actually quite hilarious that he's been able to pick up that much of a killing spree. But yeah, DNZ, as a result, that's enough money to straight up finish up the Lotus Orb. So, useful to have. Again, great against the Silencer, just something, another utility to get rid of these silences, maybe reflect some of these spells. Like Snowball, would be hilarious. So Penta, I mean, they're still technically ahead in terms of net worth. It's never been that crazy, though, so it's still a very even game, especially if you also consider the experience graph. Up to 5k in Singularity's favor. Both showed a lot of this net worth advantages actually in towers. Oh, okay. Fucking down with the ice blasts. Exotic here, fast off the way, did not get caught out. PNZ not coming for that.
Dire's top tower is under
Oh,
attack.
Penta, they're gonna get this tier 2. Don't think there's a question about it with the Chronosphere being used bottom. I can feel very comfortable going into this.
Radiant's middle
And
tower is
Singularity?
under attack. Dire's top tower is
Actually trade for the mid tier 1, El Sash, picking that one up as it was super low. They're backdooring it. But Penta, do they even want to stop here? They have everything that they need. The only hero that they're missing is kind of the least necessary one, I guess you could say. And don't get me wrong, it's nice to have the Winter Weapon there just for counter initiation with the Winter Curse, but if there's any hero that you can spare when it comes to fighting for Penta sports, then it is that Winter Wyvern. PNZ, okay. Nisha with the haste rune just casually sidestepping that burst strike, and now, well, Lotus Orb comes through, dodging some of the spells, and now BKB, but doesn't want to throw out the black hole. Obviously can. Right now, it doesn't have the mana. He can pop the Soul Ring if he wanted to, but of course, Global Silence still being up means that Wolf can cancel immediately. So now, as a result, don't quite have enough damage for that one. First strike, and being wasted. Nisha gets a Global Silence off. A couple of right clicks up against DNZ. There is vision here, so it does burst through him before he dies. 2-for-1 trade so far in Singularity. They want more Pathos for the Bash. Bash is coming through. There's a blink. There is Black Hole available now, though, if whenever he wants to throw it out, but it does get nuked down. Didn't really find an opening onto a couple of heroes that would have been worth it. So Rajix will have to pop the Aegis eventually. Does. We'll have a Gale when it comes back, but no real teammates to work with. Currency even used to make sure that there's no shenanigans happening. Ultimately, a very spread out fight, and this is the kind of fights that Singularity would like to take between the low cooldowns from the Tusk and Faceless Void being very mobile. Penta spots, yeah, that's unable to really make that one work.
Radiant's bottom
I think if they managed to kill the Drow Ranger, if Exotic Deer didn't make it up to the shrine to heal up, it would have looked a little bit different, because then all of a sudden Silence is missing a lot of damage, at the very least. Maybe Singularity don't feel as comfortable continuing. Exotic Deer himself did a lot of damage that fight too, so it's as he came back in. It's another one of these high risk, high reward kind of plays that didn't quite work out. A couple of health points. And these kind of things also keep happening to them. On the Winter Wyvern mostly it gets picked off by these kind of combos, but it's just more gold in the hands of Singularity. Nisha especially up to 30 stolen intelligence right now. 1 per minute, pretty good benchmark. Manta style in the works of Faceless Void. So I might just see him go straight for the Manta, the feudal kind of build. BKB now. The next item for Exotic D after going for this utility and mobility. And a duo of items, Hurricane Pike and the Shadow Blade. Yeah, once he has the BKB, it's really for Penta to throw at them. They have a bit of right click from the puck as he went for the plus 50 damage talent, so he's hitting for 170 right now, which is decent. But it's not enough to really chew through a Drow Ranger fast. Oh god, that's a good initiation. Can they finish it off? Yep, they can. Didn't quite get the phase shift off or a blink or anything, even after the Yule, so... Whenever you can actually catch a puck like that, it's actually super great. Oh, Chronosphere finds Enigma. He was just sitting there, wasn't he? Seems like Singularity is fun to get into their own. Find these pickoffs. Part of that is on them, but a bit of a part of that is also Penta just kind of being thrown off balance a little bit. They're spread out, they're just trying to farm up, they're not really sure what to do with we should be doing is just group up and try and find the counter initiation.
Radiant's middle
Basemon just
tower has fallen.
can't die alone or at first in a fight. It's just not the type of hero for it.
Structures are fortified.
Yeah, Singularity. This time around, they're not really pulling any punches. PNT going right onto faces 4. He's still quite vulnerable if you can manage to actually lock him down, but they just missing a lot of the spells. The Winter's Curse not really doing anything, so now Katsuo is pretty slow. Being silenced, being right clicked down, a lot of trees being taken care of, so they will finish up this the task eventually. That's about the only one, and that was I think that's still worth it for Penta, for Singularity, is they did get the tier 3, that's opening up the shrines. Set up for more map control. Penta, they gotta feel it though. Once these BKBs come out, I can only imagine Nisha will want to pick up himself. He just straight up buys it out.
I'll take that.
These are available now, it makes him much more dangerous. Draw Ranger also extremely close to it.
A prize.
So with that, perhaps the next Roche as well. If Singularity can secure that, then they might just win the game off of this. 45 seconds and the big guys back up, and Penta, they realize it too. Last time they were just able to sneak it, but it took them like 1 or 2 minutes to actually kill it. Don't really have a lot of physical damage to work with, no medallion even or anything to make it even slightly easier. So if they want to go for it, Singularity feel it out, because once again they don't have a lot of vision around this area just yet. If they feel like there's a Roshan going on, they can easily contest this. Global Silence, Chronosphere still working in their favor. Arthur's going for BKB of his own, of course, is the name of the game here. The Singularity also figuring out that Roshan is back up. But the Plague Ward also just lasting long enough for that information also reach Penta, but now potentially pretty good. Chronosphere in the back, Sand King just preventing him from doing anything else. They do finish off the Winter Viper first and the Sand King second. Not even breaking a sweat. Now, what do they want to do? Do they want to go Roche? I think they should. Chronosphere being used, but instead, no, they want to force on some buybacks first if they can. Little do they know that there's no buyback. Maybe they figured it out here, just seeing the Ogre Club and the, oh wait, no, that's the one here. I don't know. Maybe they know, maybe they don't, that there's no buyback on the Sand King, but I have to find the opening, and they do. They will be able to finish up the Minorax, which is just super important, but silence is no one safe from Katsuo. Making a place here, but now forced to actually bring him all the way back under the tier 4, so might have to just give up his own life. Taking a few ultimates here, Patos also got caught by the Venomancer bullshit. It's not something that can easily time walk off, so he does still die in the end. So does Tusk, who also had a gem. Maybe that was not worth it after all. They do get the Minorax, but they lose quite a bit off of that, and they still lose. The faces forward. Think forward here. Enigma's looking for more on Placemon, and he should be able to finish up a little stash, or should have been able if he wanted to. But going in too deep without having clear confirmation of where the support groups is. It's a kind of a recipe for disaster, so Placemon doesn't overcommit. There they go for Rush. We're down still for 40 seconds, no buybacks on the side of Singularity either, so not even sure if that's enough time for Penta, honestly, though, but 4 heroes in here, 5 heroes almost. He's the only one sitting on the outside, just ready to counter initiate, but looks like it should just be barely enough. The faces void had buyback for this one, they would have probably been able to use it and easily contest this Roche as it stands. Unable to really do so. The Penta with that overextension from Singularity, keeping themselves alive. They could have just let the Void go, survive the rest of the heroes, and maybe provided enough of a headache for Penta to deal with when they went for Roche as it stands. They get that under their belt. And more importantly, they keep the adjacent cheese away from Singularity. Katsuo. Placing a ward only on the server, no sentry though. And PNT, get rid of that immediately, of course. That Invis rune working out very much in their favor. They're getting some more amps of their own. Dagon pack now available. One for early boots of travels, just being able to bounce around the map, be where it needs to be. He's the Aegis carrier. Coming back to base to heal up in terms of mana and singularity. Penta don't necessarily know that they're all here. I mean, they have some vision in the dire side jungle, so they might have an inkling that the singularity is around, and well, okay. Boogie blinks away, almost got caught by Katsu. Could be a very decisive fight. Penta have all the advantages that they can get. They just have to make sure not to be caught out by a big chronosphere. Enigma, oh, if he can find Nisha here. So Shadow Blade here, giving him that extra intelligence. They can find Nisha, then there's nothing really that can... actually, you need Nisha as well as the Faceless Void. Else Path was just able to time walk across and chronosphere it off. So yeah, Penta, not initiating. Wanting to take the chance of a less than perfect team fight. Quite a standoff here, actually. I don't think either team really knows the exact positioning of the other team, especially Singularity just smoking in like this, and now it's Penta's turn to just, again, go back. Not taking chances. Blazeman showing himself mid though, and this could be a cue for Singularity to go. Puck does not have boots of travel. Ugh, they're not taking it though. They're moving across towards the middle lane, and they might be able to kill Puck here. There it is, the Chronosphere used. Silence actually also caught inside of it, but well, Blazemon caught with the Ice Blast, but ate the cheese before, and now the Black Hole to turn things around. These two heroes will be taken care of. Who is down, looking for more perhaps? There's a snowball, this, yeah, Katsu gets a blink off. And Spooky also does it, so yeah, they should be able to finish him off. Especially with that Winter Scourge just being committed to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere else. He doesn't make it up to the high ground. Still does it though, good blink to the other side. But Boogie, Katsu still being kept alive though. I think actually going to be turning this around. Blazemon caught by the Ice Blast, not being healed up by this but it's Cold Embrace. Katsu, how is he still alive? Gets another snowball off. Punch up into the air. Blazemon's still in the middle of that here, but gotta be super careful. Ice Blast at this point, it has expired. Only comes through. Finally finishes up the task. I don't know what. Oh god. But at what cost here? They also lose the Enigma. That was the longest chase in this Rift though. Katsu just staying alive for so freaking long. Didn't really expect that. It still takes a spell in the end, but they... Penta lost more than they really should have there, honestly. Well, he almost died there too. The tick of extra damage would have just ticked out the Ice Blast. No axe, except unfortunately for Alasash. Still doesn't focus on that. If he had that, that would have also been a kill. So many ifs. But yeah, entire game though, Singularity had a huge advantage. But that fight, and it's worth remembering. Let's come back to that because that was all on Singularity. Pathos. Between Pathos and Silencer, if Nisha was a little bit further away, she easily could have, right? He didn't need to initiate. He didn't need to blink in right on top of Blazemon there. He really didn't. All they needed was Pathos to just blink in, go for Chronosphere, and then Silencer goes back in. Or alternatively, Pathos just needed to land a better Chronosphere, because if Nisha stands on the outside there, they get the kill easily before Puck can eat the cheese. And then this entire fight just doesn't even happen. Quite the game indeed. Katsor, Blind TMZ, not the easiest target to bring down without immediate support. So 4-star, Burst Strike, Blink available too, able to make it out. Dodging that entirely. Might be in it for the long haul in this one. And, matter of who blinks first. Alright, what kind of items have we talked about yet? Butterfly and Venomancer. This is actually turning into quite the right click at this point, all the way to level 25. 3 times Plague Ward HP damage, very solid talent choice. Slow is good as well, but the extra ward HP and damage, it's 120 now in each. Pretty significant.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, Venomancer is a bit of an issue. They spawn level 23, so almost at the plus 420, so that'll be a very easy dig on 5 once he hits that, and while still keeping a buyback, so it's potentially an issue. Faces Void. BKBs, of course, should all still be very healthy on Star Singularity. 10 seconds on him, 10 seconds on a Silencer, and 10 seconds on Exotic Tier, so neither of them have actually used that yet. Oh man. I can see why they would have reservations. Like if Singularity mess up, then we've seen what can happen. If they messed up the spells and then they lost the fight, and Penta. If the Chronosphere isn't perfect, if the Global Silence is not the money, and just have the Puck to deal with, just like after the BKBs, at the very least with the Blink Silence and Coil and whatnot, and not going for Axe, so these BKBs will still be used on stepping those. It's half that. Venomancer with his stuff. But the Enigma Black Hole is the big one, as well as the Winter Wyvern ultimate. Winter Wyvern catches someone next to the Draw Ranger, it should be death, dead hero. Straight up. Unless perhaps it's the Faces Void, I think he can... I don't know. Depends on, I think, on whether marksmanship bonus is active at that point.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Alright. E2 dies. Singularity. They slightly... They have the better farming rotations. Like they're doing a better job just soaking up more resources off the map. They'll have a slight lead again. But they really want to find pickups like this. Oh no. Oh. Athos, please. Yeah. I expected this much earlier. Like the way Penta's been playing thus far today, like they've always been the ones who wanted to have control of the game, who wanted to make things happen, get the kills, force the fights. Now with the smoke, maybe they're able to do that. They use one of Rajix, we'll take care of that Husk Sigil. Slowly inching forward. Round to Swoosh with here, because the big guy is up again. Singularity, they know this is going on. They've landed the Ice Blast on 1. Fuck. I'm not able to dodge the Frostbite actually. I think it grazed before he gifted, or maybe it still applies. No, it shouldn't really apply if he's phase shifted while it hits. Yeah. Anyway. Story done now as well. Meanwhile, top though, this could be the deciding factor. They did get rid of the sacking. Roshan, slowly but surely, going lower and lower. Barbecue some sanking. The fight doesn't quite break out. Pata's still very much alive and kicking, but down to half health. Ryan is up if he wants to use it. Might have to here. They're keeping tabs on Roshan's status with the shots. With the silencer, but it's only Rajix in the middle of here, and that is not actually doing anything. Draw Ranger with the butterfly not really being hit, but the follow-up burst strike is there. The global silence and the snowball to turn this around. Here, BKB on exotic deer. Now he can start to right click perhaps. A black hole in the back though. Caught. The face is void. Ice back. Looking for a Chronosphere. Finds it in the back. They've all lost the task. They've all lost exotic deer. The Chronosphere. Not the best follow-up here. They will get one hero. That's Enigma. They will find a second one on the Winter Wyvern back. Buybacks from every side, and that's a dieback, in fact, from the Sanking. So do find him as well. Katza, well, also in control of the Rajix together with Alistash to finish that one off. So ultimately, Singularity just throwing more bodies and claiming more lives than Penta on this brawl. Also finish up Roshan this time around. Aegis now, NGs in their hands. Who all use buyback in this one? Yeah, Exotic Deer, Katzo, Pathos. DNZ a little bit earlier, and the Enigma owned me. All use buyback for that Roche, and this might actually be an issue for Penta. Because now 3 of the heroes are dead without buyback. 30 seconds is no time with the Winter Wyvern. The more important ones, all 50 seconds out at the very least. So now, Blazeborn and Enigma doesn't have a black hole even, so I don't really care too much about him. No, anyway. Yeah, just Rex down as a Singularity. They have 4 of their heroes. They don't even need to spend the buyback on the silencer. Because they still have the draw range alive and kicking. This might just be a full Mega Creeps. Nice dodge on the silencer with a blink. But yeah, damage is being done. They're just laser-like focus on it. Exotic Deer claims another melee racks. Pathos with a BKB. Doesn't have a Chronosphere to work with, so instead, once again, he also just hits the range racks. Doesn't say that though, like, actually getting out. I think they could have finished it off easily. They still have the Aegis and draw ranges, so I don't think you need to worry too much about the buyback situation. Without Venomods, without Stanking, I don't think they get these kills. But yeah. At the same time, Singularity, they're down 1-0 in the series, so they might as well play it safe. They already got a huge advantage. 2 full sets of racks and the melee racks in top, so all they need to do now is reset, re-engage whenever they want to, really. Build the BKBs. They could wait until the buybacks are coming off cooldown, but I think at this point this is too slow for them. For the first time, that's the biggest lead that we've had ever in this game. Now all they need to do is one more team fight, and here these globals, the Invis rune now, the Chronosphere on 2, follow up with a couple of right clicks in the back, global silence now, BKB, he's being, he can't get his ultimate off though here, because he's just being bashed by the time mode. 1-4 on trade though, so I did finish up the silence. I was trying to help out inside the Chronosphere. They also finish up the Faces Void in the end. 2-for-2 trade, as it stands. That's Buster on top of these heroes. Alistash, still no Aghanim Scepter to help that out. BKB and Exotic Deer, right clicking away. That's Rajix down, he does have buyback. And he will use it straight off the bat. Buyback also used on the silencer, rejoining the party. He's in the middle of that now. It's a 4 against 3 fight. Difference is that the Aegis is still in the hands of Exotic Deer. Creeps, super creeps from a lot of lanes have to be dealt with. Rajix went for now Skadi rather than something like a Maelstrom to help him against this. So Exotic Deer, yeah, there it is. Just using that Aegis, trying to create the space. He only kept 1 or 2 right clicks off on racks though, and he can't even pop the BKB. He doesn't have that, but it is Penta who just abandoned this. Relying on the glyph to keep the racks alive. Right now, it's still only 300 health points and against them with Mega Creeps. Okay, and that's not something they could have afforded. And this is it. This is GG. Blazeborn being caught out. And then just being bursted down without buyback. What a game. 51 minutes. Penta Sports, they just couple of fights here and there. I mean, the big one was that black hole that was cancelled by Katzor. And as a result, and he was the only one that had a really good early game. He played great throughout, so... And with that and a couple of other moments where the task was making the difference, I think he deserved the Endline Audio MVP of the game for this one. Last time it was DNZ in a similar position, just setting up for the rest of his team. This time it was Cattle. Just kind of keeping them really in the game, stopping that momentum from Penta time and time again, and keeping them in check. Alright, that does mean that the series is tied up 1-1. I'll try and get something to drink in a moment. Nev might be back here and might actually be joining me for game 3, so we'll see if that's the case. In the meantime, gonna take a short break, but don't go too far away. We'll be back with game number 3 between Penta and Singularity here in the Blood on the Streets tournament.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's Mod Mic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's Mod Mic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires and optional inline mute switch and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our third game of the day. Extra light. No, that's actually bad. Third game of the day here for the Blood in the Streets tournament, the lower bracket match between Singularity and Penta. One more game to decide which one of these teams will walk home, which one will move on to the next round. My name is Dragon Drop, and for this third game, I actually have a co-caster. Neff, what say you in your defense?
I'm sorry for leaving you on hanging. I love you very much, Dragon Drop, and I'm very happy to be casting this with you.
You're only 2 hours late. Only 2 hours, so it can happen to anybody, I think. So hey, I'm just kidding. I shall cast a sentence down upon you after the series off stream. So anyway, did you actually catch the end of the last game or anything of the series before?
I saw them take Mega Creeps, and that's around when I woke up, and now I'm being shoved on to cast this one. Very excited to do it.
All right, so basically it was a very back and forth game. Penta Sports not quite able to close it out though, because they've I don't know, it was very hard. It's very hard to describe in a nutshell here. Anyway, game number 1 was a little bit crazy as well, just with the drafts. We had like a mid Rubik and shit like that, so I was totally lost without you on that one too. But for now, game number 3, let's hop into the draft, as it's going on very, very slowly here. Penta Sports taking a long time for the secondary ban, but they finally settled on a Magnus.
Look, Magnus, pretty common ban. It looks like as far as Winter Wyvern, that's a little bit weird. Same with the Night Stalker, and the first 3 picks came out almost instantly. So now we do have something to talk about.
Bounty Hunter and Nature's Prophet. So Bounty Hunter in game number 1, they were using it pretty well, and Nature's Prophet was actually picked up by Singularity.
Really? How did those two go in those games?
Well, like, the Singularity, they had like a Prophet and Coddle first pick and a mid Rubik, and I thought they would be like going for like a very early push-centric lineup, but then they didn't really execute on that, and eventually Penta just straight up won and got pickoffs with a Tinker and whatnot, so yeah.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter and Nature's Prophet, both a little bit weird, especially in first phase of the draft. They aren't really heroes that many people consider that strong. Nature's Prophet was starting to see a little bit more of in these drafts, but Bounty Hunter still feels a little bit weak to me, even in this patch. I'm not sure. They might prove me wrong here. But, I just don't really think it's worth picking up.
Yeah.
And I feel like there won't really be enough damage coming out between Bounty Hunter and Nature's Prophet, but looks like Singularity responded to it pretty well by picking up Clockwork. Very good against Nature's Prophet, and the aggression can stop Bounty Hunter as long as you respond to it properly. But
yeah,
we'll see.
I think it's with Bounty Hunter and Nature's Prophet. 1, as I said, they don't have too much damage, and 2, they're kind of shitty team fighters. Right? This patch is all about being able to take skirmishes, take team fights, and those 2, all they can really do easily is pick off people really quickly, just with the burst from a showy toss, a couple of right clicks, and early on just with the control that the Sprout brings. But yeah, there are definitely other heroes that do these same kind of jobs much better.
Yeah, I mean, if Singularity gives them room to breathe, great. If they don't, Penta's going to be in a lot of trouble. They're not going to be able to find the pick-offs they need, and they're not going to be able to fight into Singularity. But yeah, it's not very good for them in the first stage of the draft. I really wouldn't want to be Penta right here, but they might have something in mind that I don't see. We'll find out.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the kind of playstyle in the last 2 games was very aggressive, so these 2 heroes definitely fit that agenda though. So if they can find the upper hand, start off the pickoffs on a good, like, with some good momentum, then you can start stacking up these track kills. Singularity,
So,
as you said, they have some good ways to deal with that. Ancient Apparition, unless he gets caught out, you can always just get off an Ice Blast to help out Clockwork. And also thrives up against these kind of skirmishes.
Dire team ban.
yeah, AA again. I really don't like AA that much in this patch. I feel like you get the Ice Blast off as far as everything else goes. That's what you do in a team fight. Probably just personal preference for me. I don't like those sort of heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
The Singularity seem to like it a lot.
Remaining.
I think they draft it every single time now, so yeah.
Reserve
Who knows?
time.
I mean, there's some combo potential, right? Clockwork, it lands catch someone in cogs. Just the Ice Vortex will go to damage output. Easy setup for the Cold Feet. Like there are some things that you can do with that hero, but it's not always easy or exciting.
Yeah, hopefully in this next stage of the draft here, we'll see things that give us a little bit more to talk about and reveal us a little bit more about what direction these teams plan on going in. So
you see Penta just go all out for the global strat. It is Zeus and the Spectre.
Oh god, Zeus, Spectre. It's the last one they'll pick.
Oh no,
Zeus, huh?
Spectre, and then Bloodseeker.
Ah, yes. I mean, Singularity already has the AA, so they've lost out on that.
Yeah. What I can do is you press Blood Rage on Zeus, and on Nature's Prophet. Zeus presses R, Prophet presses R, and then Bloodseeker has a gajillion movement speed because everyone's so low, so he'll finish off anybody that hasn't been caught by the blast. Spectre does the same thing, also presses R, then they're all dead.
I was gonna say then Bloodseeker runs around in circles around an enemy tower to intimidate them with his movement speed.
That could also.
You were right with the global strat. They got silencer, global silence.
The combo breaker for sure. So, Silencer though, on paper, like if he gets caught by Clockwork, it's he's fairly vulnerable unless he already has that Hurricane Pike to work with, which would seem to be like the first item that he wants to pick up.
I'm not sure they'll run that on core though. We'll see about that. If he doesn't run that on core, then again he's just going to be food to the Clockwork.
Yep.
I really don't see how Singularity or Penta's going to deal with Singularity's draft at this point. It really does not look like they have fully thought this one out from my point of view. We'll see how this goes continuing on, but again, Clockwork can deal with all of these heroes extremely well, and Singularity doesn't really have enough damage to fight into the enemy team here. I know Silencer does a little bit of damage, but even so, it doesn't have the hard lockdown to deal with the enemies.
None of the heroes really provide the teamfight control that you need to make sure that these three heroes can really work in a team fight. So, taking a lot of time themselves, you're thinking about the next pickup.
These guys really aren't giving me much to talk about here, especially given that I just woke up. Not really fair to me.
But it's your own fault, dude. You were supposed to get up 2 hours ago.
Think about poor F.
You don't get to you don't get to play the Poor F card. Not now, not this time.
Alright, Legion Commander.
I like that a lot.
Yeah. It gives them even more to deal with, more team fight response to their pick-off ability really well.
Also great just with the Purge against the track, against the Silencer, BS.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just another nail in the coffin for Penta, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Really don't think that Penta is going to be able to deal with this draft very well. I don't want to say that Penta is doing a bad job with this draft so far, but
exactly what you're saying, though.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I'd like to see how they're able to run this draft, though. If they're able to make this work, then good for them. They have 1 second of reserve time left. I think they're starting to feel the pressure of maybe we didn't do so well in this draft.
Now picking a Storm Spirit into a Legion Commander.
They had 1 second left. They didn't really have any more time to discuss what they were going to do. It was either pick something or they were going to random, and they had to pick whatever their mouse was hovered over at the time.
Radiant team ban.
Run and near for singularity. So could be a mid.
Could be a mid, could be a support. I think it'll be. It's got to be mid, right?
Could be,
10
yeah.
seconds
You
remaining.
could just run Legion offlane standards, Clockwork Roam.
5 seconds remaining.
Or you can just always go safe lane Mirana. Not sure if exactly who really runs that though.
Yeah.
Dire team ban.
Alright, Troll's banned out. So, fortunately, these teams don't have any more reserve time left. So, as far as stopping us from talking about things, they're very limited in what they can do.
Alright, what's the last pick here for singularity as the one position, assuming that Mirana does end up mid?
One position?
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, are looking for more damage output or just some like middle of the road, more control
Reserve
factor?
time. 10 seconds remaining.
Maybe some extra burst to help the Legion
Lifestealer?
commander. Yeah.
Dire team.
I can see a Sven. I mean, you'd have to cleave to also deal with the Nature's Prophet Treants. You would just add yet another way. I mean, Legion Commander can of course nuke them down. Mirana as well with the Starstorm, so you don't necessarily need that.
10 seconds
Maybe
remaining.
even Ursa.
Oh yeah.
5 seconds.
That's something that can be
remaining.
very strong here. Maybe something a little bit better at dealing with the storm and the other heroes. You locked down that. Alright, that is
That
not what I was
works.
expecting.
Load to it with the root. And maybe get some lucky hits on the Storm Spirit.
I think they're just going to try and run these guys over. Like, the damage output from Penta here is very limited. The first 3 heroes, not the best at dealing with it. They're forced to rely on the Storm and the Timbersaw.
Yep.
Singularity can just run into them, start taking things early on. Then there's not much Penta can do to stop them.
It's like an all guns facing forward type of lineup for Penta. They don't have a lot of control. They only really have damage output when they get a good laning stage. And this is a 4% clockwork. I don't really see that working out well.
Yeah.
10 seconds.
I mean,
They
remaining.
really aren't in a good position. I'm not really sure what else to say as
Yeah.
far as that goes.
5 seconds remaining.
I think the Lone Druid at the end of there was sort of them realizing, okay, look at what they have. Let's just sort of fight into them. Let's take the early game
Yeah.
and let's run them over. Abuse the fact they don't do enough damage to us.
I mean,
They
honestly, I
can't
think
really kill our bear.
yeah, exactly. Like honestly, I think the 4 first tiers from Singularity are so strong against what Penta brought together that Lone Druid won't necessarily be needed for team fights as much. So if he wants to, he can probably just farm up the Radiance in peace with all the spaces being created. And then you also have the pushing power anyway in the later parts of the game from that bear, which is something that actually has been lacking in the past couple of games.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just like this lineup from Singularity so much more.
Yeah, and the bear's a lot harder to kill than most other split pushing heroes. So from the bounty hunter Nature's Prophet combo, it'd be
Yep.
a bit scary to some people who are trying to split push, but the bear don't care.
Yeah.
Prepare for battle.
Bear also can't be tracked. No extra
Yeah.
gold.
Come on, bear don't care. Come on.
What?
Come on. Bear don't care. You,
Okay.
you sort of laughed it off and didn't really acknowledge my joke well enough.
You know what happened last time we made jokes like this? Like, it was
What
just a
happened?
natural extension. Just ignoring
Oh,
them for my own sanity. For my own sanity's sake. But yeah. Exotic D, of
the
course, really good Lone Druid player. NZ also making an appearance. He's trying to chase down this treant. But look at this bottom lane here. Alistair and Katsar. They get themselves in pretty interesting positions. They're expecting to try and run somebody down. Looks like Rajik's gonna be the one position Timbersaw here.
There's safe lane Timbersaw. Alright, I guess that's one way they can deal with their lack of damage. Get as much gold onto the Timbersaw as quickly as possible and see what they can do with that. And yeah, Mirana is mid lane here. We were right about that one. They do commander in the off lane.
The battle begin.
And Bounty Hunter, Nature's Prophet, fighting the Dire safe lane. So
I think they know that something is amiss with Exotic Deer just being left alone to his own devices up here, so they might not be caught out by this movement, but this attempt at a first blood that's getting ready in bottom. But at the same time, they might just still run head first into it. It's only 2 heroes here, Silencers as a support. Very limited in what he can do. And Timbersaw, generally known as a tanky hero, but early on, not really. And Boogie actually runs right into them, so he'll be the chosen one.
the chosen one to sacrifice first blood to the gods of GN. Alright, well, he's dead. You see that coming out pretty easily at the start of this game. Looks like he was trying to scout it out for the Timbersaw, but I mean, he certainly scouted it out, but
Yeah.
I doubt it was in the way that he intended.
And you don't see the supports top, you know that something's amiss, but yeah, once again, Cox into Cold Feet attempted here with Rajix. Of course, he does have the Timber Chain to work with, forced to go that as his first level. Boogie, well, he can't really do much here. If he gets caught out with this kind of movement, he's not going to be able to survive it. And that is, again, oh, actually Tao helping through with the Cox, but he still dies. It's way too easy.
Didn't really matter. Yeah, so that's already 2 kills in the way of SNG. So top lane we see Lone Druid's actually struggling to fight against this lane. Nature Prophet just does a huge amount of damage, and I think they're going to try and push down this tower as quickly as possible.
First they're going to try and kill Timbersaw, and they will be able to. That's just straight up walking him down. Early boots, Timbersaw doesn't have it. With help of the Chilling Touch, more right click damage, so he's still only level 1.
Wow.
Absolutely devastating losses from Penta here in his bottom lane, and Boogie. Guess there's enough mana for Cold Feet, but Katsuo is nowhere to be seen, so he'll be able to survive for now.
I mean, this really isn't ideal for Penta.
There we go.
Okay. A little bit of a recovery there through finding the pick off on the mid. But prior to that, it really was not looking good for them.
Yeah.
They need to be like doing as well as they can these early lands, or they're just going to get completely run over because their draft's not very good at fighting the enemies. Hopefully Storm.
Yeah. The very flip side was that with DNZ spending so much time top, Exotic Deer was pressured a lot. So he's actually slightly behind in terms of CS compared to the latest Prophet lane opponent. Bottom lane, are we gonna go again? Yes, we do. They're going Rajix though, he does have the Timber Chain still. And 2 points up into the reactive armor.
Yeah, he's gonna be a little bit harder to kill now that he's 2 points, so we're probably not gonna see that much action there.
Yeah.
I guess the most interesting things are probably gonna be mid and top lane now. It looks like
he's being super annoying. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, Storm's got a few levels now, so it's a little bit easier for him to CS against this Mirana.
Yep.
And now he's starting to pull ahead as far as the CS goes.
So, with the Timbersaw getting more annoying to deal with, do you see singularity supports rotating around now, trying to stabilize the other lanes?
If I was them, I would probably just try to go after the Nature's Prophet, a fairly easy kill, especially for the Clockwork. It looks like they're trying to do that, or mid, just like you said. They're TPing onto the shrine, they're smoked up. I think they might try and go behind the Storm Sphere before he hits level 6, but they gotta be doing that pretty quickly.
Yeah. This is the last opportunity really, yeah. Blazemon already 5.5, they get this extra vision going. And Blazemon is running right into them, but he realizes just in time, the arrow will miss. Now, TP rotation through, Katsuo with the Cogs, only now pushing back the Silencer, but still enough space for him to walk away. But DNZ TP walks in Invis and TP through from Nature's Prophet, just in case. Penta, they were ready for this one.
Yeah, very nice response there. Probably didn't turn out too well. They missed the arrow. They missed what they hit the ancient aberration in front of the Clockwork there, which wasn't really ideal.
Yeah.
Really nice TP reactions from Penta. So. And Silencer getting the +2 intel. Infinite scaling.
Infinite scaling! Good meme. But then again, Singularity also has one of those heroes of their own in Commander.
Infinite scaling. But infinite scaling pure damage on the silencer.
Oh well. Let's hit level 25 on the Fusion Commander. Might as well be pure damage. But lane though, they can try again. Blazemon, he's level 6 now. I'm just gonna get half mana, so we use 1 or 2 more spells. Could be a little bit more dangerous, but it's really hard to find the opening if you're stuck in the tower like that. Katsuo using that Invis Rune, taking the top instead, so I might be able to finish up the Nature's Prophecy as a result. Goes for the cogs. Of course, it'll also block in, block out the bear. Need a root to get it. Okay, there it is. Got it there, pressing the root button, and that'll work.
Very, very dead Dangerous Prophet. Like I said, the clockwork amazing here when dealing with that. You're just not going to be able to TP out. Your Sprout is useless.
Yep. Mid lane though, Nisha, this time he denies the rune. Still being slowed down a little bit, but he still has the leap available.
Cheeky Mirana. I'm actually surprised. Looks like Nature's Prophet, while he was dead, Exotic Deer rather, managed to take CS lead back from the Nature's Prophet. But Nature's Prophet been dealing with the CS from the Bear pretty well, in my opinion.
Yep.
Up until now. So, good on him for doing that. Looks like they might be trying to find a kill on him with this Bounty Hunter. No, they've got the Clockwork sitting on the side there. This might not go very well for him.
Also saw him walking by
Clockwork with the dust.
What they have dust, yeah. They can find him here. They see him in the middle of that. This is a dead Bounty Hunter. Good catch.
Yeah.
Vision wins games, and Suicide wins games against Invis heroes.
Nah, True Sight doesn't exist.
Okay.
Invisibility equals invincibility.
Well, at least would be like that in my games.
Oh man, I feel bad for you now.
Well, the cogs, the DNZ again, but it's right on the shrine. TP's come through, shrine itself keeping him alive. Because they're trying to party. Whoa, that Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through so hard. Forcing them to walk away. TP forward here, wants to get one, and he does. Can he get another one? Just defensively sprouts. Oh, that DNZ almost cancelled the TP. Could have turned out much worse there for Singularity.
Yeah, I mean, not ideal. Everyone often forgets it's not good to take fights near the shrine. The enemies can just TP as many heroes as they can. It's something I really forget. That I'm trying to get drilled into my head after years of Dota, but...
Yeah, it's something that you sometimes need a reminder of. Singularity definitely did get that.
I mean, they got a very harsh reminder just there. They're not able to do. It looks like the fight's breaking out top though.
Much as fight is more of a pick off, and might be able to turn this into a fight. Nice body blocks on Katsuo, giving DNZ a fighting chance, but now a bit of extra control. The bear intercepting him, but DNZ is actually faster than the bear, not even able to get that slow off in the right click. And no more dust this time. Yeah.
Detection this time.
DNZ will be fine. Meanwhile, bottom lane, of course, this turning into 1v1 means the Timbersaw is back in his element. Nothing really the Patos can do to zone him out. Actually, he has to be careful not to die.
Yeah, there's not much the commander can do by himself against it. 20 reactive armor stack Timbersaw. So.
What the hell? Bounty Hunter, of course. DNZ has no mana, no health points, but still snipes Couriers. Just waiting there. Nothing on it, I think it was on the way back, but still, extra money for everybody. Blazemon on mid. Isha with the invis. But wrong leap. I think it was scattered out, yeah, but it's Sentry Ward up on the high ground.
Yeah, I probably saw him there briefly. Bounty Hunter was trying to move his way, so it's a good thing he ended up taking that. Otherwise, it would have been a very dead Mirana.
Yeah.
And that looks like Miranda's not doing as well as she would like to be doing anyway. Storm Spirit actually very high up here on the last hits and denies. taking a look at the net worth right now. Stormspear at the top of the charts. And Timbersaw not very far behind him, about to overtake this lone druid here, so.
Dark Deer just finished up his Midas though, so Midas lane maybe not starting off as well as he would have hoped. He was still able to keep up. Now get himself that accelerant. What a good amount of levels. The bear maxed out. Pretty strong at this point, so it's Penta. Looking for it again. 4 heroes now, but Stormspirit also joining the parties. It has the Legion Room going. So now it's the perfect opportunity here. They see Katsaw, they also see Exotic Deer. Katsaw trying to create some chaos. The mass TP is coming through. Well, Sash throws on some spells, but he'll be the first casualty after the Silence. 1-1 trade so far. Now it's just slipping out, keeping that region going. Arrow will fly almost catching that Nature's Prophet, but the Widow will connect. Will secure that kill. Blazeman still going here with max mana. Katsaw will go in and out of the cogs, no problems whatsoever. The duel comes through. Do they have enough damage? Nisha doesn't actually have enough mana for a nuke. Or had all the cooldown anyway. They would have the mana with the magic wand. They get the bear. Blazeman who joined the party. Oh, it's half mana. They're looking for more Rajik's ultimate rotation, but looks like that'll be the end of it all. Duel win for Legion Commander. Is that a win for Singularity?
According to my fight recap from Valve, yes, it was a win for Singularity. Looks like they got.
Does it count the bear dying though?
It doesn't. You're right.
Ah,
but regardless of that, they got a little bit of an EXP need from that. So overall, I'd say it's a win for them. They managed to get dual win off. So Bounty Hunter not getting that much. Actually, he got 2 track kills there, didn't he? Or did he just get 2 tracks?
Not sure.
That's something I need to be taking a closer look at.
I think the Clockwork at the very least, there was at least 1 track kill. Not sure about the rest. But there's smoke up now. Legion Commander, no blink just yet. But if you have someone else setting up for you, you might still be able to get the extra duels. Blazemon, of course, being the main target here, perhaps, if they can find him to run into 2. Don't see DNZ here, it's not revealing himself just yet. Holding on to the tracks.
Even the bad part about taking that fight is Penta knows exactly what Singularity is doing there, and Singularity is a little bit confused as to how many Penta heroes are up there, so it's a good thing that Singularity didn't end up taking that.
Might not have turned out as well as they would have thought. Who do you think the space of the game actually favors? Because despite everything, Exotic Deer is doing extremely well. He's got 4 kills. All these early engagements, hasn't died a single time.
I'm really surprised.
Sash is that Castle throws down a hook here onto Rajix, but it's a hero they can't really kill, so just keep them locked down. Nisha somehow misses the arrow on the stationary target. Will get purged off, so he can run away. Also have a haste stone, yes he does. So what the hell are you doing? There's 4 heroes here. Luckily they don't have a lot of lockdown to work with, so you can just walk away.
He probably knew that. He just had to scout at the enemies, make them waste a little bit of time, make some space. It's so good.
Look at power play here. I know it's 4 of you here, but I don't care because you don't have stuns.
Legion Commander wanted to duel him, but just outside of his grasp. He needs to get that blink dagger up as soon as possible. I think Singularity really needs to be making some space for this Legion Commander to be that blink. It's really big for them, helps them find some pickoffs. It slows down the enemy team, but looks like their lone druid doesn't want to stop farming anytime soon. He's getting pretty close to his radiance. I guess he says, "I want it all. I want the money." Legion Commander can wait.
Unless they kill him a couple of times, might be looking for him now. Yeah, another TP coming through and Exotic Deer is none the wiser. And unless he runs right the hell now, he is dead. Global Silence even committed. But he actually managed to find a nice little nook and cranny. The rest of Penta don't actually quite get the damage off. The duel comes through, in fact, on the Storm Spirit right on the tower. So that'll be a win for Partas against 3 heroes. Ice Blast will connect in a couple as well. Partas will be even be able to survive. DNZ almost sticks out to that. The hookshot will barely miss. That'll be the end of that, but as they do catch Silence on the side, I did not expect it to go this way. It was a 4-man rotation. on range from Lone Druid.
And they didn't even manage to get the kill. Wow. It's quite something.
It's a disaster, that's what it is.
I'd say quite something, holy. Well, yeah, it was pretty awful there for Penta. I mean, they lost the Storm Spirit too, and the Legion Commander managed to get the duel off. Like, absolute disaster for them there. Not sure how they didn't manage to secure that kill, but it's pretty game-losing stuff, if I can be completely honest with you.
Yeah. You said it too in the draft. It don't. Where's the damage coming from?
Yeah. It's basically.
I'll try again, Nisha. Down to very low health this time around. That'll be enough. Try kill with everyone actually getting the spells off, the nukes off as well.
Yeah, damage is coming out from the Storm Spirit and the Timber Saw. The Fearless don't really have it. And you can ult from the Nature's Prophet, and you can eventually get some damage on the Silencer, but right now you just don't have enough. I mean, right now they're going to be able to press an advantage a little bit onto Singularity, but once the Radiance is up on the Lone Druid, once the Blink Dagger is up on the...
Wow, they're gonna go for the Timber Saw. The hookshot will not quite connected. They are keeping it in place, but they're not really doing any damage. In fact, Katzos being super low will have to sacrifice himself now in the end. He's not dead just yet. What? Okay, there you go. That took him quite a while. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was about. Now Nisha, he's coming back now. Long zip from Blazemon. He's kind of out of mana. I don't think they go for the tower if Singularity don't just commit a lot of spells to that.
Yeah, they're not able to defend this except the tower's going down. Clockwork needs. I feel like Clockwork is being a little bit underwhelming at this point, especially given that he doesn't have any levels. I mean, he needs more experience, and he's not getting that right now. The Lone Druid's being super greedy, and
there's Global Silence again. Blazemon, decent amount of mana left here, but not quite enough. Once again, to find Exotic Deer. Now it's our mana. The duel comes through. Ice Blast. Carbon copy of that last fight, especially some more heroes die. Silencer. Well, next on the list. PNZ walking away. Another more control for him, so...
They just can't quite kill this Lone Druid, and they keep trying for it. And not learning their lesson. Oh, there we go. Pants.
Like, I understand that they need to kill Lone Druid. Like I said myself, they need to put pressure on him, but they're not doing the math right. They're committing heavily, and then they don't finish the job because... yeah, because why? I mean, it's only 1,300 health points that he has.
But still, they don't do enough to 1,300 health points. I mean, if he's not even in true form, like you said, he'd be having another 600 if that were the case, and a lot more armor. But the fact that they can't kill this right now is very bad news for them. Once he has his Radiance and he's able to do more damage place, I mean...
Also going indeed,
pretty much a timing game.
Getting lower and lower. Blazemon looks for a double kill here. Another zip will be rooted off. So Clockwork able to survive just because of that. The duel once again. They find the Storm Spirit. Does something enough damage? They do indeed. Exotic Deer on Mega Kill Streak as he claims that one. Nisha finished up the Prophet in the top. Meanwhile, Rodrix though he's cleaning house and back to finish up the one. But the roots are real. Exotic Deer didn't have the Radiance going, but he's still got 6 kills, 4 assists already. Nisha might be caught out here. Does have the leap away. Now it's still Rodrix. Actually out of mana, caught inside the cogs. Arrow will only hit a tree. And yeah. He's doing a good job. Yeah. So Timbersaw's doing what he can. And it's keeping them in the game for now. Ice Blast, very long, but not big enough. I'm gonna have to be the roots for Exotic Deer, but he decides to walk away. It's TP on out of there.
Still another pretty bad engagement for Penta there. Look at their Storm Spirit on the net worth graph. He's 5th on the net worth. That is not what you want from your mid.
Yep.
Especially at this stage in the game.
About to finish the Bloodstone, so a little bit more mana to work with perhaps. But he just keeps dying to the duels is the issue.
He's been just a little bit off that Bloodstone for like at least 5 minutes now.
Yep. Even with Bloodstone, he's Like the blink dagger has been out for a little bit now on Patos, so he's always looking for the blink duel on the Storm Spirit, which is what I was saying as well. This is why you cannot feel comfortable picking a Storm Spirit into a Legion Commander like this. You know this is going to happen.
Yeah, and the Blade Mail almost done on the Legion Commander. He's going to be even in worse place. It's going to be the world's saddest Legion Commander. I mean, Storm Spirit rather. Apologies. I'll blame the fact that I just broke up.
Is this the slowest Roche in history of Dota?
It's a very hopeful Roche attempt from Timbers, though.
Well, at the very least they have the medallion. That Singularity, do they figure this out? So far, there it is, Ice Blast coming through.
Oh, this is a little bit weird. Silencer over here, he doesn't have pointing glaives of wisdom.
Oh wow, not a single one. The value point is pretty good actually.
Yeah, you get the pure damage. I'm not really sure. Even like between lane harass or anything else, I rarely ever see somebody not get glaives of wisdom. So actually does quite a bit of damage.
Yep.
He even chose to go treads for I guess better right click and still didn't go glaives. Okay, he's got it now at 8.
Yeah.
So I'll forgive him.
I mean, how much is it at this point? He's like 60 int, 35% of that. Can't do math right now, but like 10 to 15 or something.
Well, he's actually got 70 int and he's on his int treads,
Oh,
so.
okay, yeah.
60 though. But yeah, when he's got that much, that percentage, he does like, I don't know, 20, 25 pure damage, pure per auto attack, which is actually pretty great.
Yeah. Maybe with that you can win one of these duels if Patos just blinks into 4 heroes, isolates Storm Spirit, doesn't give a damn. Right now it's already up to plus 40, so it's pretty decent here, 22 minutes in. Radiance of course is up for a little bit. Going back for the Vlad. The Exotic Deer is getting larger and larger, and the only one that's ahead of him is this Timbersaw. Once again, Rajix has been doing a good job, but is he the hero to actually carry this into the late game up against what Singularity have?
Definitely not is the answer I will give you. Lone Druid with his Radiance up already, his bind is soft cooldown. The rich are only gonna get richer. I mean, right now, Penta's still at the net worth lead.
Nisha gets gone on here with long zip from Blazemon, but damage only coming in now. The Shrine being used, the second one not coming out. Blazemon uses the entire mana pool for that though. Now being bursted down, Ice Blast lands on him, as well as Rajix. Patas with a Blade Mail. Actually doing a lot of damage back towards Timbersaw. It's perhaps an opening for him. Oh, of course, Blazemon, he had the Aegis, so he knows that he can go for the same thing again. Tries to finish up Katsu, the Shrine being created by Patos. Keeps him alive a little bit longer, forcing Blazemon to finally get out of there. Singularity actually didn't get any proper kills. Only had one on the Aegis.
The Aegis there by Penta.
Bit of damage done through 3. And the fight's not quite over yet. DNZ brought out. Dust coming through. Patos needs one more, two more right clicks, and we'll get it. And they'll also run down the Silencer. Well, fight's not over yet. Rajix joining the party. And he will be able to get the Legion Commander, but now it's super, super low. Exotic Deer still there, trying to prevent him from going for the Timber Chain, but now Brazemon actually gets hit by an arrow, and the Root, he dies! Rajix,
no.
Back to full health somehow, because, well, just Timbersaw thinks Exotic Deer TPing out on the cover of Invis. Rana pops at ultimate. That's all. He cannot stand up against the Spearmouth. Timbersaw is just proving his worth right now. The arrow, this one will miss, trying to go for defensive hookshot, but Rajix throws down. That's another Chakram, another Timber Chain. And now he can just walk away again. What a player.
Timbersaw is having the time of his life, but the Storm Spirit, he is
Not
not.
so much.
He did manage to deny himself there, though, so.
Yep.
As far as everything else goes, it was a really good use of the Aegis and fight by Penta. As far as things went afterwards, not the best, but they still didn't lose out on that much. Penta's slowly pulling ahead. despite everything in this game. But again, they're not going to be able to win this late, so they're probably going to need to find a way to close this out in the next 10 minutes, or they're...
Duel and Timbersaw, last time they did this, it didn't work out well, but now they have the damage, they have the magical nukes with the Ice Blast on top, so he's 14-9 himself. Bloodstone back to manageable charges. 13 from like 21 or something.
Yeah, it's a start. I mean, he's right back up already now.
Yeah.
Timbersaw's alive and ready to go back in again.
No dual one
Just taste
either,
of
so
blood.
it sticks at 54 for the Legion Commander.
Does slow the progress with Penta a little bit, though.
Yep. Right now, they
So,
still have the timing, right? I mean, the 10k ahead, they have complete map control.
Yeah, but like I said, it's 10-minute timing for these guys, in my opinion. If they're not able to really take a Rax or secure an even bigger advantage in the next 10 minutes, they just aren't going to be able to win
Oh
this game.
no, Storm Spirit. Global Silence not preventing their duel from completing, so... And they also find Rajax, follow with the hookshot through. Wanna commit on this? Maybe they do, yeah. Just trying to juke and jive, but now he's feared, he's slowed, he's stunned, he's rooted. He's actually dead! They bring down the Juggernaut. Like figuratively, not literally, of course.
Fair enough, another name for Timbersaw.
Yeah. Now, his Bloodstone down to 8 charges. 6
Yeah,
for,
they went
for
from
the
21 to 8. I would be furious about that.
Yeah. And it's basically single out you're looking for, just proving that they have the damage.
And that's pretty disastrous. It really takes an impact on their chances of winning this game, because 10-minute win timing is just took a huge hit in their net worth. It changed about 30k in that time, and now they're going to have more map control. They're going to get to place wards, do what they want while the enemies are respawning and recovering from what just happened. I think next Roche is going to play a huge part in what happens in this game, but maybe Penta will be able to stick it out. We'll see. They've been pretty impressive with some of the plays that they made so far. Like, they took a really good Aegis fight inside the enemy base and got out without any real losses. It's what happened afterwards that wasn't so much in their favor, but...
Teams about to run into each other. The scans. Scan caught singularly. But they feel a little bit more timid. They don't want to take the chance of going high ground into the shrine. Wisely so. That's DNC scouting out for Penta. But yeah. Patos, what do you think Legion Commander is going for? He does have that Ogre Club. The normal assumption would be perhaps BKB, but also needs to have something to deal with the Lincoln Sphere that Stormsword is working on, doesn't he? Oh god. The Bounty Hunter, they get the dust off, Blade Mail duel, easy win.
Well, if he sees the... yeah, easy win. If he sees the Lincoln Sphere coming out from the Storm Spirit, his two bets are... Maybe he built the Ochre Club to start to get a BKB, and then he sees, this Storm Spirit, his Lincoln Sphere is almost done. Maybe I should get a Helvin's Halberd.
Yeah.
So I imagine that's what he's doing right now.
Maybe
If he's smart.
Yeah, it's maybe not as effective this game, just on its value beyond its Lincoln's breaking capabilities. Because there's not... But then again, I mean... Even disarming Storm, disarming Prophet, or the Silencer eventually is not the worst. Right now, Blazemon, they're hunting for him. And... they see him now? Maybe? Maybe not? The hookshot just off the mark. It's a long zip. With the TP.
Yeah, unfortunate. Yeah, as far as the Heaven's Halberd discussion we were just having goes, I think it's honestly worth it. Even though you're investing that much money into it, you get the duel off on the Storm Spirit. The Heaven's Halberd is worth the purchase, but he's got the BKB and quick buy now, so looks like he's made up his mind as far as what he wants to do.
Not really much that his team can actually do against this. I mean, the only thing that they have... The cold feet from the Ancient Apparition, actually. The only Lincoln's breaking ability this game, apart from items. I don't know.
Huh.
He might go
Isn't,
back for another Heaven's Halberd later, or 4-staff on one of his supports.
Truly unlucky.
Yep. Well, it's up now on the Timbersaw as well, okay. He wants to protect himself too. Maybe put it on the Storm Spirit as well, as necessary.
Lone Druid working well on his Assault Cross. He's got the recipe and the chainmail up. He doesn't want to go back to base again, so he's just gonna take fights into the enemy team. Confident man. Spend all that money on the recipe before getting other things.
You know what they say, wolves need no armor, but
actually,
bears
he
can
does
really make
not.
use
He
of it.
actually has the full assault
Yep.
already. He's rich.
Just finish it off!
Radiant's
Next Roshan, both teams at this point should have figured out that it's there. Arthur's looking for a duel, but once again, just the Storm Spirit just a step ahead. Now, as a result, he will be able to finish up this Lincoln's. Game's gonna get a bit harder now. The Singularity on the back of that.
Yeah, I think this next Roche is going to be able to decide what happens in the game. He's having to deal with this Storm's Lincoln Sphere, but other than that, I think Singularity is in a pretty good place. I sort of said like 5 minutes ago, if Penta isn't able to close his off or secure like a pretty good advantage in the game in the next 10 minutes, and it's been like 5 minutes already, then I don't think we're going to win this game. I still stand by what I said.
Yep.
Bounty Hunter starts to become pretty useless around this point. And Nature's Prophet's damage starts to become pretty underwhelming, and he's becomes more of a rat / split pusher, so.
Especially with this item build, not going for like a Desolator or a like Bloodthorn even, not yet anyway. That's the Maelstrom to help with pushing out lanes.
Mm-hmm.
This looks like a smoke, there it is. I'm gonna try and secure this area around the Roche Pit. Singularity, not there at all. They're dealing with their side lanes. They have the bear down bottom.
Pretty interested in seeing how this one goes. Looks like they don't want to secure the pit around Roche as much as I thought they did. They know the Storm Spirit's there now because they saw him
Just reveal
attack the
himself, yeah, with the Lord. What that was about. A false sense of security because Nisha is farming Ancients right now with DNZ keeping tabs on him.
The seeds of fortune.
But didn't make the call to actually go for the hero.
Yeah, it looks like they're gonna want to smoke here as well and fight into the enemies. Come on, use it. Let's see it happen. Come on, Clockwork, put that smoke back in your inventory. Come on, AA, use it.
Let's get out that Roche was happening with the Rocket Flare. Once again, just Timbersaw in the middle of there, just using the Chakram.
So they don't really want to do it that much. They decide they don't really want this.
They really can't without like a couple of pickoffs at least. Just taken forever.
They have to be afraid of the Ice Blast from AA. So
Yeah. Also smart holding on to it. Okay, blink duel, there it is. Easy.
he used the blade mail there though for his duel. Shame.
Yeah.
Slow fingers.
Unlucky.
You're starting to use it. Proud of you.
More to mock you than anything else.
You wouldn't do that, would you? Mock your poor co-caster Neff, who always shows up exactly on time.
Cool story, bro. Cool story. Alright, Rajix, should break the Lincolns with something. Good what that was, and well, they burst him down. Ice Blast came through after the Global Silence, so it's...
He actually wasn't able to get the Bloodstone Suicide off. He's down to 5 charges from 21 now. My god.
What triggered the Lincolns? The Fuel Blade charge? Or was Action Operation in range for Cold Feed? I don't know. Anyway, they're going for the high ground right now. This is the more important part here, and the bear just cleaning through this tower. They're going for the bear, trying to bring it down, but quite a bit of damage to duel. Another one comes through, and Nature's Prophet, so it's 2 years down. Neither of them have buyback. They clean through the rocks as a result because bear is bear. Bear cares, as you said earlier. Beating that one. This is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this too with the pressy attack.
Backdoor protection. Bear don't care.
It's like the bear's jumping on a tower and just dancing on it. And crumbles under him.
Cry baby emote comes out from Lone Druid. Important stuff.
This attack speed. 0.4 seconds.
There's so much damage.
Well, fight goes on. They're trying to finish off Eldritch Sash, but he's still alive. Now the hook shot lands down to Stone Spirit, but that will zip away. I think it's yours on cooldown, but well. Man, I couldn't quite get the blink duel in.
Looks like they managed on taking fight there though. Lo and behold, the enemy team is Penta is no longer happy with their position in this game.
At least it prevented the Roche for right now. But again, they can't really take it themselves easily. They need to win a team fight, but it's getting harder and harder.
I mean, Lone Druid only needs like 15 seconds to take that once he goes in there at this point.
Yeah.
It's that low. So, they have to be very close to the Roche bit.
That is Kata. We heard you a little bit delayed. Of course, we have stream delay going, so he's figuring out now and remembering that he does have the smoke. Gonna use it. And they can find the right target here. They could easily go Roche and finish the game. Because this is where we're at almost. Yeah. The bear, 0.3 seconds with a pricey attack. He attacks more than 3 times a second. Bounty Hunter caught with a duel. No win actually. Not enough follow-up damage. And no moment of courage procs.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Unlucky even.
Unlucky, exactly. Laceman at the very least is skipping creeps, so they can't immediately go down through the middle. Rajik's doing the same up top, just clinging through these waves.
Oh, it doesn't even matter that he's skipping creeps at this point. The Lone Druid has already shown that backdoor protection does not matter to him.
That's true. Press the attack.
Here we go again.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this is what I have to say about your creep skipping.
God damn it. It's fine, guys. They don't have creeps. G to the fucking G.
Them, guys. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Osfrog, please. It only works with press the attack. Well, very quickly with press the attack. Ringate Pike from the Prophet. Desperate attempts. Alright. Well, Blademan's got his own creep wave down bottom. Maybe someone wants to deal with that. But what you can do as a Lone Druid, just put a TP on the bear, have him TP back, just burn down the creep wave, and then just recall. Love to see that. Oh, what? That would have been hilarious if you got that one, but he's still being brought down. No more mana. He's late doing some extra work and forced to deny himself. Like, how many nails are there in the coffin right now, Neff?
Too many to count. The Storm Spirit has buyback though. He's gonna have to use it here. Are they gonna lose another set of racks? I mean, they're gonna lose another set of racks regardless of him buying back, but they might prove me wrong.
Scout. Press the attack on the bear. There's a backdoor region, but it looked like there isn't. Creeps are even coming in middle lane, so it'll make it even worse if that's even possible. Just clear through racks with a couple of swipes. You can go straight for top. Do the same thing and just have the bear up front. He's out of life points, so he might have to resummon. Oh no, just keep him back to base.
Bear does manage to get out before it dies there. Someone is actually talking to me about the Sprout trick on Nature's Prophet. You can actually use it on the center of the racks. And it'll stop the enemies from having vision of it and being able to attack it. That's something that the Nature's Prophet didn't use there.
What a shame. Doesn't even know that's particular extremely obscure mechanic. But hey, Lone Druid also still has a Quelling Blade, so ineffective.
True. On his main hero though. I'm gonna slow them down for a second or two though.
Considering that the racks die in like a second or so. I'm not sure if that makes a difference. But yeah, this could be the very last fight of the game. Very last fight of the series. Penta looking to be eliminated for the 3rd time in this particular tournament series. There it is. He's doing it. But instead they focus on the Timber Saw, trying to at the very least. Global Silence comes through. PKB and Patos looking for the dual target. Blazeman doesn't have his Lincoln Sphere, but instead he just finds the Timber Saw instead. He doesn't want to try and blink after the guy who just zips it around back and forth. They did lose the ancient apparition, but that's about it. Byrick coming through from the Storm Spirit. Place one. Might find Nisha here. Oh, nice Savage Draw. Keeping him alive momentarily. Does have another leap in a second. Even if he dies, he does have the Aegis. They see DNZ walking up. Easily right click down. And looking for more Yabugi. Just will be burned down if they want to continue to chase with the bear instead. Trying to go for Blaze One as he finally triggers that Aegis. Clockwork and Legion Commander also going down during that kerfuffle. Singularity decide to let it be for now. But they did get the Minirax. Range Rex down to 324 health points. This game still looks pretty over. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I guess they just decided, alright, we're not going to give you any chances. We're not going to play silly at all. Make you look good. We're just going to get back. Play our own game of Dota.
Yep. Accept it now and learn to it. Now Exotic Deer, you can just go AFK in the fountain and have
Put
the bear
on the bear.
Yeah. Oh man.
So what is your opinion of this game? Turn out exactly how you expected or what?
Pretty much. I mean, we were saying how we liked Singularity's lineup much more. Penta, they probably had a plan going into this, but it really relied on them being able to snowball. Like, have a really good lanes, then get track kill after track kill after track kill, just keep building up these Bloodstone charges. But Storm Spirit, it was always dueled, which we also knew was going to happen, because that was a pick that came after Legion Commander. So he could never get that ball rolling. It was only the Timbersaw, and the Timbersaw's not the hero that need for this. And it's Blink Duel, gonna go straight for the Silencers, an easy kill. Bites back, has Global Silence in a couple of seconds. Meanwhile, Blazemon unable to find a target. Yeah, just a matter of looking at the racks to bring it down. Can they hold against Megas?
The answer might surprise you.
Well, they just Prophet knew this was going to happen. Right? Started with the Maelstrom, now upgraded to the Mjolnir. Long zip. That's maybe Nisha. Well, keeping themselves out. Now Boogie. Oh no! Double silence. So no duel wasn't cooldown anyway, but.
Alright, there we go. Managed to come to GG. Very odd position to be in for the GG call, but.
Well.
I'm not surprised. I think Penta did an excellent job as far as keeping up in the first half of the game went, but there's just nothing they could do with their lineup.
Yeah, it does go back to a draft, doesn't it?
Yeah. I imagine this is something they're going to be taking a look at, maybe beating themselves up a little bit for when they review this game later, but I thought they played their heroes as well as they could have, so.
I think the biggest issue was that by the time they figured out, hey, that lone dude is going to be an issue, it's going to throw a wrench in our plans for the next 10 minutes.
It was already
it was already too late. Yeah.
It was already going through backdoor protection about the time they throw a wrench in their plans.
Alright, so looking at all of these players, like, who would you give the MVP title to? Or the Endline Audio MVP of the game?
I would probably say Exotic Deer. He played Lone Druid excellently. The enemy teams went to gank him with their 4-man squad. He got out twice. So very impressive play by him. I underestimated Lone Druid that game, but he played it flawlessly.
Yeah, he did.
What about you?
I can go with that. Exotic Deer, I mean, it's easy to make the argument, yeah, the rest of his team was going space and was saving it, etc., etc., but like, it's still a hero that if he's out of position, like even a landing stage when he was kind of left alone, if he's out of position just a little bit more, then he does die in these kind of situations that he was barely running away from because he was in the right position. And that's just a mark of a really good carry player. Being able to find your farm, being able to stay alive, even when there was like 4-man rotation at one point on top of him that he survived, partly because of that. So I can go with that. Give him the MVP for this game. Overall for the series, though, I was going to give it to Katsuo. He had a great game on the task. And here in the early game, also helping to set up for these early kills that got the ball rolling in favor of Penta down in the bottom lane.
I'll have to take your word for that. I mean, yeah, I was totally watching those games, you know? Yeah, he was there. casting with you.
God freaking damn it, Neff. Anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the games as much as I did, and Neff did as well. At least the very last game.
It was a pleasure.
And yeah.
Thanks for having me again.
Thanks for joining. God damn it, man. Anyway, that's us done for the day. The next game has yet to be scheduled. It's gonna be a Singularity facing up against Comanche in the lower bracket. The winner of that will face up against APP, and Gambit is already waiting on finals. It's still a couple of days out. Once again, it has not been scheduled. You can follow along on Twitter at FirstBlood. FirstBlood.io. FirstBlood.io. You can also follow me at DragonDropDota and at NefSensei, my co-caster for the last game. Not gonna plug his team at WildcardGG because he's been late for the first two, so not gonna get that free shout out on that.
I don't want to represent them as far as being late.
Alright, so with that, once again, guys, thank you very much for watching and see you next time.
Are you tired of your streams or voice chats sounding like this?
Do you want the comfort and quality of high-end headphones without sacrificing microphone quality? Antline's ModMic 5 is the perfect solution. Their dual capsule microphone attaches easily and securely to your existing headphones and fits within any setup thanks to the modular cable system. It comes with a cable wrap to protect your wires, an optional inline mute switch, and sounds a little something like this. Check the link in the video description to learn more.